This is going to be fun. There's so many exciting things happening in tech today. There's the Apple Vision Pro, the release of the 4080 Super, and we'll be mostly ignoring all of it to build a sick wooden PC. 2 years ago, we built our first wooden PC for Wintergatan. That was pretty sweet. But after that video came out, we got a call from Matthew Chu of MXC Builds, who told us, yeah, I think I can make an even better wooden PC, and I've been told that he did. You see, for years, Matthew has been designing and hand-building wooden computers that are absolutely gorgeous, and he made this one specially for us. What that means is, I really don't want to damage it. No, I'm not going to damage it. It's on the table. It's on the table, Alex. No, look. See, look, geometry. It's fine. What that means is we have the incredibly stressful task, at least for Alex, of doing this hand-built PC case justice in a live stream. What isn't stressful, though, is telling you that this live stream is sponsored by XSplit. If you need cutting-edge yet simple-to-use broadcasting and streaming tools, check out XSplit. You can even save 69% off your first purchase or subscription with code Linus if you go through the link below. More about them later. For now, it's time to unbox our case. And the most remarkable thing about it is not immediately apparent when you look at it, but that it is hand-built using normal woodworking tools. In fact, the video where it gets built is on his channel, which, I don't know, the link is not here, but Alex is apparently ready and waiting with it. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like hand-built.
So this is like... But then I was all, who needs power for the rest of this process? That is sick. So the video is called Woodlicious, ! I don't think the question mark is really necessary because it's clearly woodlicious. The front panel was laser cut for us by a local shop, but everything else was done with a circular saw, a jigsaw, and files. Every case that Matthew does takes 1 to 3 months to build. He just kind of does this in his free time. There are no orders for customers or anything like that, but you can buy his plans on Etsy for 15 Australian dollars, which for Americans is like nothing, basically. The front panel is birch plywood, and the rest of it is solid Australian gum. I do have one bit of feedback for Matthew. All of the rubber feet already came off.
Oh, it wasn't like that.
Oh, it wasn't like that. Did we ruin it?
Took it out.
What's that?
Well, I think you did right now.
No. They were all on, and then as I was turning the case, they all came off. So the adhesive is a little bit, you know what, that's okay. That's a minor issue. We have replacement feet over on the other side. We're going to go grab some before the end of the show. And realistically, there's no ventilation on the bottom anyway, so you could just plunk it down if you wanted to. But come on, Andy. Come take a closer look at this. Okay, this is super cool. Are these magnetic?
Yes.
Oh, they try to be anyway. Ooh, there we go. Ooh. Tempered glass side panels. Yeah, no. I'm not going to break it. That's actually a pretty cool mount. It's really on there. Oh my God, this wood is amazing. I've never seen Australian gum before. I assumed that their gum would be horrible based on that they eat Vegemite. So why would I chew Australian gum? But it's a joke. Australian spotted gum is treat. Come check this out though, Andy. This has a really cool grain. 3D printed grills. Of course, we put our asset tag sticker on it. You know what? I'm going to break the rules, and I'm going to remove our asset tag sticker because, like I said before, this build is all about doing justice to this case. We have a number of different approaches that we take when we do a build. Either we'll build it with a particular task in mind, or we'll build it with a particular game in mind, or in this case, we're building it around a particular component. And the first one is, of course, the case, and the second one is actually going to be the RAM. I know, That's a very, very unusual choice for a component to build around, but these are pretty unusual memory sticks. I am holding 16 gigs of a total of 32 gigs of V-Color X-Sky. We were first drawn to it because of its extremely shiny exterior. Hey, thanks, Alex. He's got me. And the reason for that is that we think that it is going to look fantastic, reflecting the beautiful spotted gum wood grain. I'm actually on the wrong side of the case here right now, but Andy, check this out. How good is that going to look? Can you see the reflection? No. Yeah, you got to come over here. Come over here. Oh. Now, on top of good looks, these V-Colors are rated for a blistering 7,200 megatransfers per second. They're not the fastest RAM on the market. G-Skill, for example, will sell you some RAM that's rated at 8,000 megatransfers per second, but we have never had any luck getting anywhere near those speeds. This V-Color, meanwhile, is ROG certified, which means that it should go all the way to 7,400 megatransfers per second in an ROG Z790 motherboard, which the keen-eyed among you will notice this is not. So here's the thing. We were going to go Z790 for this build, and then we went shopping, and we realized that the Z790i was 640 Canadian dollars. And I get it. Canadian money, worthless. Well, not worthless. That's almost 500 US dollars. So after throwing up in our mouths a little bit, we decided that we would be perfectly happy with the B760i, especially because, God, it's like on the higher end chipsets, a big part of the benefit is, especially on the AMD side, that you get all these extra PCIe lanes. And it's like, what am I going to plug into them? There's one GPU slot and typically a max of 2 M.2 slots on these ITX boards. I've seen some with more, but it's very unusual. So ASUS claims that this board should be good for up to 7,600 megatransfer per second RAM. So as long as we've got a CPU that has a good integrated memory controller, we should be able to get the best possible performance out of our RAM. We do lose overclocking support, but frankly, we've had very little luck overclocking when it comes to 1410. Here, if you want to come get close up. Because Intel is clocking them so close to their absolute limits right out of the factory anyway. Oh man, that's shiny. What's shinier, this or Trident Z Royals? You know, I'm actually very surprised, Alex, to see you go with super shiny RAM, because as I recall, you were not a big fan of G-Skill's Trident Z Royals.
What? No, I love those. Do you remember how much I used them?
Oh wait, no, yeah, all the sleepers. Never mind, it wasn't you.
It was me.
No, it was you and a bunch of other people. The Royals are, they're very polarizing.
I love them.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas some people feel like we should abolish them. Anyone else get it?
Oh, because of the Royals, yes.
Monarchy. Anyway, we also don't have an industrial chiller, so thermals are going to stop us from getting more performance out of this thing long before the overclocking support of our motherboard is an issue. I realize we haven't really gotten any close-ups or anything, kind of like we would in a normal build video, but this is a live stream, so what the hey? It's more about, you know, talking to you fine folks anyway. Why don't I pull up my live chats here? How you guys doing? What is this video about? Asks a boring title. Okay, first of all, I think we chose a perfectly good title, so I think your username is an unfair attack. Second, we're building a computer in this sick case. Look how beautiful it is. Now, a quick thing. I just wanted to shout out the social accounts for MXC Builds. So Instagram.com/MXC_builds, YouTube.com/watch !V equals capital B 5, lowercase z, capital Z, lowercase k, capital G, lowercase w, lowercase n, and then all caps lie.
Why
I'm going to try not to read too much into that.
Why is that how you decided to do that?
Well,
it's just MXC Builds on YouTube.
Well, that's what you wrote. I just read whatever's on
the Instagram.
I just read whatever's on the prompter. Go fuck yourself, Vancouver. Wait. Oh no. Oh no.
You can't bleep it.
It's a reference. Don't worry about it. Anyway, the last one is he's on Etsy, etsy.com/MXC Builds. Okay, okay. We did warn the float plane chat that this stream was going to go a little off the rails.
I told you this would happen.
Anyway, as I already outlined, one of our big goals for this build is getting the most out of this memory. And for that, going ITX can actually be an advantage. And I have a prop motherboard here, an ATX motherboard to hold up and talk to you guys about why that is. The trace length to the RAM is actually physically shorter. Not the first slot, okay? So not slot A1 here, but slot B1 doesn't have slot A2 in between it anymore. See? They are right next to each other. This helps with signal integrity quite a lot. And the reason for that is that A, distance, and B, if you were to use, really it mainly comes down to distance. Also, when you load up all 4 memory slots on an ATX motherboard, we actually, for the most part, I don't think we've recommended loading up all 4 slots in a system in years at this point.
Yeah, they haven't done that sort of a configuration for quite a while where it makes sense.
And the reason for that is that if you use the first and third slots, the signal will bounce off the end of the wires in the other slots and it can cause interference, which is why you will typically, especially if you're running high capacity DIMMs, you'll have trouble getting the same kind of speed if you're running all 4 sticks versus just 2. So we've got just 1 memory stick per channel. They're physically closer to the CPU, and the traces are exactly as long as they need to be. All right, this is going pretty well so far. I feel like we're going to be done this build in like 20 minutes at this rate. It always feels like that, though. And then we get to the all-in-one liquid cooler. No, not yet. Let's talk about the CPU next and get that installed. We've gone with, here we go, a Core i7 14700K. 20 cores, 8 of which are P, or performance cores, 12 of which are E, or efficiency cores. And is anyone else wondering, how Intel is going to manage the branding and messaging for the new, what are they, low power efficiency cores? Is that what they're calling the ones on Meteor Lake?
No, I haven't heard about this.
Okay, so Alex hasn't got his Meteor Lake briefing yet, so I'm going to give him the explanation at the same time as I talk to you guys about it. So on Meteor Lake, which is their, is that also 14th gen branding? No, right, because that's Core Ultra. That's the 1st gen Core Ultra branding. Okay, so on Meteor Lake, you've got performance cores, or P cores. You've got efficiency cores, or E cores, and those are on like the compute die, like the actual CPU die. Then they have these new low power E cores that are on the SoC die. So those are really cool because you can light those up when your system's running a Windows update or something, and it can leave the whole compute tile powered down essentially. I mean, it's never completely powered down in that context, but it can be basically powered down. But what's challenging is, my understanding is those don't perform as well as E cores. So we had this really simple, okay, here I want to get the close-up of the install. We had this really simple system where you had CPU cores, and then Intel was like, actually no, we're going to have some that are like performance cores and some that are efficiency cores, but don't worry, we're going to keep things really simple. It's just P and E, performance, efficiency. And then they were like, couple generations later, 3 generations later, we're going to mix it up. We're going to have like E-er cores, efficienter cores. None of this really matters from a gaming standpoint. Those 8 performance cores are going to handle the vast majority of games pretty much on their own. Yes, I know about City Skylines 2. Yes, that will consume all the CPU compute that this thing could possibly muster. But for basically everything else, there's MasterCard. Sorry, there's the performance cores. These will turbo up to 5.6 gigahertz. Really? 253 watts max power?
Well, it does more than that because, of course, it does.
Yeah. Intel, it's always funny to me. You know what the quickest way to identify a fanboy is? Anytime they talk about how that particular brand is known for like too much heat or bad efficiency or good efficiency or very little heat. because let me tell you, every single one of the big three, so here I'm talking about your Intel, your AMD/ATI, and your NVIDIA, has had a period in their history where their efficiency and their thermals sucked and were terrible. No, Intel is not known for being efficient. Even before the current generation tomfoolery. Anyone else remember Pentium D?
No.
That was a mess, man. I remember, because I was working at NCIX at that time, and from time to time, the guys would come out of the tech shop and they'd be like, "Hey, Linus, check out this board." Okay, these were single core processors that would run so hot and overload the VRMs on, especially those older generation motherboards, so hard that the entire back of the board would be discolored in an area this big around the CPU socket. It would be just brown. So you'd have, like, you know that blue that ASRock used to use back in the day for their PCBs? You'd have these blue PCBs that were just brown in an area this big around the back of the socket. Like, they were a mess. And don't kid yourself, AMD has had their own periods of just atrocious power efficiency. Bulldozer. I mean, that was like almost a 10-year period for AMD. Anyway, the screws for this appear to be quite DIY orientated. I don't actually see motherboard mounting screws, Alex. Am I supposed to have any? Or am I just going to forage for myself? Because I can do that.
Well, first you should worry about the AIO.
AIO goes in first before the CPU?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sure. Anyway, we picked this chip because it's $400 on Newegg versus $575 for the i9, and we don't expect any appreciable difference in gaming performance. Man, that's something that I feel like even smart media, like even people who know better, have kind of been drawn into, is using Core i9s for gaming. You do not need a Core i9 for gaming. It's utterly unnecessary. What you will need, if you do go with a Core i9, or realistically any high-end Intel chip these days, is pretty substantial cooling. So we've gone with the Aorus Liquid Cooler 280. And the main reason that we went with this is because it was the one that would work in this case. Even then, it was actually kind of a struggle. The case was designed around the Arctic Cooling Liquid Freezer 2 280 millimeters. So that's the same radiator size, but a slightly different cooler. We had to change that one out because Intel, being Intel, decided to ever so slightly change up their CPU mounting with LGA 1700. That's their current socket for 12th, 13th, and 14th gen processors. And we don't have that bracket for the freezer too. So we also tried, oh, look at this, Alex has props.
Yeah.
We also tried the Kraken 280, but wait, we didn't like that one because?
Oh, it just physically does not work.
Oh, so is it just that the end tanks are ever so slightly, like
no.
bigger, or the thick? Oh, it's thicker.
No, the problem's here.
You sure?
So
it is thicker.
It's on the motherboard. That's where we have the issues.
Oh.
So if you look, you try and put it this way, it hits your RAM. You turn it this way so the tubes don't hit.
Get a little closer, Andy. Okay, I got it.
And then you have to have your outputs for your other stuff. So that's coming out like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the problem.
I get
it hits the RAM. Yeah.
It hits the RAM. And the RAM is the center of this build because we
thought it was shiny.
We thought it was shiny. Oh my God. Okay, well, anyway, there you have it, guys. So we're going with this thing. And I guess I get to mount an AIO while, I don't know, maybe we do some merch messages, Dan? Do we have the merch message dashboard turned on today?
Yeah, I've got a couple here for you if you want.
Cool.
Let's see what we
no,
got here.
I don't want.
You don't want?
No,
okay.
I was just asking.
We'll do it later then.
No, we can do it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can do it now.
Are you
if
sure?
you insist. By the way, I love those headphones.
They're nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
They get a little uncomfortable after 5 hours, but
I mean, 5 hours is a long time to wear any headphones.
That's true.
In fairness.
Yeah,
You look great, though, Dan. You look great.
Only for you. Let's see. When are you going to do more fire truck unboxings?
You know, is it time to talk about this, Alex? How dangerously close we got to buying a fire truck?
Sure.
on Craigslist, I found like a 1950s era fire truck. And this was a couple of years back when we were looking for something to do as our April Fool's joke for that year. And I thought to myself, man, how funny would it be if we bought and unboxed, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be in a box because it's a truck, but if we bought and unboxed a literal, actual fire truck. And that got as far as asking Yvonne how the accounting would work for it, because we would obviously be like reselling it immediately. So is there any way to buy it PST, I think it's PST, provincial sales tax exempt, because we're buying it to resell. But it turns out if you plan to use it before you resell it, that doesn't work. So we're kind of looking at the cost for it. Like, is there any way to optimize the cost of this transaction so that it's not any more ridiculous than it already has to be? And the answer was no, and I think it was going to cost us somewhere in the neighborhood of around $10,000. Does that ring a bell?
I don't remember.
10 or 15. I don't think the thing was even verified running at the time, although I think they were saying the pump worked. So if you wanted it for like, a fun exhibit at like a kid's, activity center or something like that, then it would have worked great for that. But as an actual truck, not so much. Alex,
Yeah.
does this just kind of go in here? Oh, instructions.
Yeah, instructions.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow, okay. Remove the 8 screws. Oh, what a wonderful excuse to talk about the fact that bit prices are going up on the LTT screwdriver in probably the next few months. So if you want to pick up a set of hex bits or any of the other different bit sets that we've got, then go and check that out. We've got all the different colors of screwdrivers available on there right now. We've got Noctua, we've got the retro driver, the totally non-infringing retro driver, the classic black driver. Let's go ahead and see. Yes, metric. Thank you, my Commonwealth friend, for using metric hex on your case. Dan, I forget what that question was. Did I answer it?
I think that counts as an answer. Yeah.
All right, cool, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's follow some instructions. Want to hit me with another merch message?
Yeah, sure. Hey lads, with the Raspberry Pi IPO announcement, what other single board computers are you looking to for new excitement?
Oh, that's a good question. Personally, I think that we are very close to, I hope that we are very close to seeing more RISC-V options in single-board computers. Not necessarily because I think that there's going to be a significant performance advantage to RISC-V in that space, but because a lot of people learn development on these low-cost computers, and I'm rooting for RISC-V. I mean, I know I'm not supposed to be a fan of anything, but RISC-V is not a company. It's more of an idea. It's a way to make computing more affordable, more accessible, more open. I think it's really aligned with the mission of, I have no idea didn't they previously go by Raspberry Pi Foundation? Yeah, I have no idea what someone like Raspberry Pi Foundation's mission ends up looking like when they've gone IPO, because when you go IPO, it's about the money, and anything else is for show. Really? No applause? No nothing? Yeah, thanks, Dan. That's about all I deserved for that. I got a, it's not a golf clap, because you didn't make any noise at all. So I got what do we call this clap?
A pity clap?
Pity clap?
I don't know. I wasn't really listening. I don't really listen to you much. It's like half listening. I'm so sorry.
That's fair. He's busy. He's busy doing things.
I got things.
Like updating his resume.
I don't like doing the cover letters. It's too much effort. I'll just have to work here forever.
really is a lot of work. Although Dan's actually pretty good at writing. which you guys might not know about him.
Am I?
We should have
What?
a new. I think so.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, every time you've sent me anything, it seemed good.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of practice with all the documentation.
Yeah, yeah. Man, Dan's had to do some wild documentation stuff. So can I just say I actually really like this. Man, how easy was that? I feel like metal case manufacturers could learn a thing or two. I mean, I guess when you don't have riveting as an option, you're not going to put rivets in your case, but this is great. You just take off one panel with a handful of screws, and then this mid plate is just held in with a simple sliding friction mount. And by the way, guys, I don't know much about joinery, so that's like the art of very, very fine woodworking, but the tolerances on this are so tight that I'm not even sure if I can get this back in. So I think that usually indicates good joinery, right?
Yes, sure.
Well, I think so.
I'm just a little bit scared when you said that you can't get it back in.
Oh, why? Was I not supposed to take it out? No, I was supposed to take it... Oh, I was supposed to slide it enough to allow the AIO to be installed. I see. And this, my friends, is why you read the text and don't just look at the pretty pictures. That right there is a tech tip. Oh boy. Hold on a second.
Well, we'll worry about that once the AIO is
Yeah,
on.
we'll worry about that later. Oh no, okay, yeah, all right. Well, anywho, sure. Slide the motherboard enough to allow the AIO to be installed. I still don't know where the AIO is supposed to go. Oh. Insert the AIO in the orientation shown. Okay, I think I can do that. It looks like it goes like this. Oh, there go all the screws. Oh. You know, I think I can do this. Hold on. This is one of those, can you play the role of NPC for me? So we just need a little exclamation mark above his head.
I have a fetch quest for you.
So yeah, so I come up and what can I do for you, good sir?
My screws, they have dropped. Can you please pick them up?
Yes. And what kind of EXP reward can I be expecting for this?
You can continue the live stream.
Good. Okay. Okay. Okay, harvested screw. Okay, I got 3. We should have a total of, was it 6 or 8?
8.
8, okay, good. Well, I'm up to 5. No! There's a couple on the table. Hold on. Yes, I have succeeded. And, hey, you can't succeed unless you first suck. What? That's wisdom, Dan. See, look what I learned from my mistake. Take the screws, put them in a bag, a nice high visibility bag.
Good tech tip. You got the best tips. Thank you.
Right. Put the radiator in the orientation shown. All right, you'll have to forgive me for having no idea. I think this is supposed to be the tubes, and this says intake, but what's really confusing is that the arrows are drawn like that, which would indicate that this is the intake of the fans, but that would make this an exhaust.
Correct.
Okay, so then I do understand.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So, which way was this in? Because I feel like that might matter. Okay, this is at the top of the case, where presumably the power button is, and this is the bottom of the case, where the feet used to be before I knocked them all off before we started. Oh no, there is technically one there. Okay, good. All right, I think we've got everything reorientated correctly. Nope, this goes like this. All right. I'm sorry, dude. You know, when we're done, you're gonna be like, wow, Linus did an acceptable job of this build. So maybe just skip to the end. Don't subject yourself to this whole ordeal. Now I get to figure out how this 3D printed mounting hardware works. Alex doesn't have any further notes for me on this, so I guess I'm just on my own now. I see what look like spacers. okay? I see what look like threaded inserts, and I see what looks like, nope, no. Okay. I see more spacers. Maybe these spacers were not available in full height. And oh, hello. Okay. I think that might be it, Alex. Ah?
Yes.
Nice. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this other different size of hex head. Dan, do you want to hit me with another merch message?
Yeah, sure. Let's see what we've got here.
Hope you all are having a great Wednesday, by the way. Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday?
It's a good. Oh, is it not Wednesday?
I think it's
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay. I don't even know. Linus, you have been given a second chance to install the fire pole. Will you heed the call?
No. The fire pole was never going to happen. I was always very clear with the team that there was never going to be a fire pole and there was no point in pursuing it. It's just, when you get old and boring, you become what I like to call liability averse. I don't like liability anymore. And a fire pole, that's a liability. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm not as cool as I used to be. But I'll accept that, knowing that I'm less likely to be sued. We do a lot of stuff these days. It's just like, no, man, play it safe, play it safe, play it safe. All right. Dan, hit me.
Hi, Linus. I know you have banned the use of sentences starting with so. Do you have any thoughts on tech tubers using actually in videos? Some use it a lot in a single unboxing video.
I actually don't have a problem with that, and I can explain why they're doing it. Actually is a really useful filler word when you are not just trying to stall for time, but you're also trying to add emphasis to what you're saying. And I understand the objection to it. It's actually very similar to my objection to so, because actually doesn't actually change the meaning of the sentence, no matter how many times you use it. It actually makes no difference. If you go back to what I just said and remove the actuallys, I said exactly the same thing. I actually did. So yeah, it's kind of like using like. You know, like, I just like can't. And everyone has their own idiosyncrasies when it comes to stalling for time. You know, some people while they're thinking. You know what? I'm going to call out our new CEO. Has anyone else noticed how often he says at this point in time?
I have not, but now I will.
He has always done that, and I don't think he'll ever stop doing it. At this point in time doesn't change the meaning of what you're saying. You could just say, I think that this is a bad direction. And then you could add at this point in time, but you don't have to, because your sentence would have had the exact same meaning regardless of whether you did. So I think it's one of those things that we just have to kind of tolerate from each other. The reason I object so strongly to so is that it can get very repetitive and very noticeable, particularly at the beginning of a new idea. And what's really challenging about so is not so much that it's an issue for the audience, but rather that it's an issue for our editors. If every time you do a new take, if every time you do a new take, you start it with so, then what can happen is if our editors are trying to cut, the last part of what you said in that previous take, and then they're trying to bolt on the next thing that you said, you're going to end up with this abundance of so's that is really jarring. And I've seen it happen both with myself and with our other hosts. And I just find it really distracting, and it creates extra work for the rest of the team. So is less about that I have any kind of personal objection to so. If you go back and watch our older videos, I'm a big sewer, practically a seamstress. seamster? Tailor? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is that I used sew a lot, and I relied on sew a lot as a cheap, easy transition from one thing I wanted to talk about to the next thing. So with that in mind, it's so easy to start a sentence with sew. But all I've basically done then is encourage the team. It's not actually banned. It's just banned to lazily start every sentence with it because of the editors. So I've challenged the team to use it less. That doesn't mean we never use it. It can be, when used sparingly, a really useful tool to start a paragraph or to start a sentence with so. But I just go out of my way to make sure that I'm only using it when I want to emphasize it. So, with all of that in mind, so you'll see me, especially in the scripted content, that tends to be how I like to use it now, rather than overdoing it at every turn. I can't believe how long I spent talking about that, and I also can't believe that I'm not really sure what to do right now. This clearance is not quite right, and if I used only the shorter one, that would be too short. And if I use this one, it's actually quite a bit too tall, Alex.
Oh.
Did I not shovel of this in enough? Is that the issue? Or
This radiator just bent a bit?
because they're both above. I mean, okay, it's possible. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. No.
Oh, so it goes in a lot more.
Ah.
Maybe we just have to use the other ones.
Well, there's your problem. No. No, now it's good. Now it's good with the one shorter one. So the extension seems to be if you have a thicker style of radiator. So now I get to undo everything I just did. Are you really showing that thing off again?
Yeah. Have they heard the click? Now they have.
Don't hold your breath for that screwdriver. We are working on it. The all-metal screwdriver is going to happen, but it is not the kind of thing that's going to be affordable. In fact, we've even talked about potentially delaying it because we know that in the tech industry and gaming industry, which is where a lot of our community heralds from, it's a pretty tough time right now, and we felt like it might come across somewhat insensitive for us to release like a $250 like machined metal screwdriver. So I don't know, guys. Vibe check. Do you guys, would you be offended if we released a screwdriver that was not affordable by basically anyone? Or would you just be like, well, that's a thing that exists. I don't need to buy one, but hey, good on you.
I think we want the smaller screws now.
Yes. Yeah. I switched over.
Okay, cool.
Okay, let's just check the clearance here. Because you know what, Alex? That is still way too tall.
Huh.
Yeah. So maybe it's, no, but that one's too short. I'm a little confused.
I think we just send it with these ones and call it a day.
Measure the offset of the radiator to the front panel. Collect a set of spacers that match the offset distance. Okay, so we did,
Is it these guys?
We're supposed to have, yes! Okay, I saw these washers, and I immediately went, oh, okay, those are the washers for when you install your fans.
Okay, let's do it right. Let's do it right.
These are for, here we go, making up very, very small differences. So we need, oh, good gravy.
Hard.
Yeah, I think it's 2 of the really skinny ones, and then, oh, seriously? This guy never goes anywhere without calipers. What a weird personality quirk.
What? Ever since I put them in my backpack, they get used absolutely all the time.
I mean, look, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I actually desperately needed calipers the other day, and I realized I don't have a pair of calipers at home, and I was really upset.
Did you decide that 2 was the correct amount? Because it is.
Isn't it called a pair of calipers?
Yeah.
Because of this, oh, did I decide 2 is the right amount?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 spacers.
Oh, God. Okay, fetch quest time again. I need 1 millimeter washer. Are these 1 mil? I think these are the 1 mil ones. Yeah, okay, we got this, Alex. So we're gonna use this one. Dan, one hit with a merch message. Stall for time.
Okay, sure.
At this point in time, I need a merch message. So actually,
So,
Oh, God.
I know it's not out yet, but at this point in time, how hard was it to get a good palm twist feel on the precision screwdriver while making it store bits?
Well, that's subjective. And in fact, one of the two people hosting this video doesn't think we got a very good palm twist feel. Which is the one that you like better, Alex? I can't remember.
One of iFixit's old ones is really good.
Okay. So in terms of things we are actually competing against that still exist, is there anything that you think is better?
I don't know. I have the old one, so I'm not too concerned.
Fair enough. You got yours and everyone else can just go F themselves?
No. Well, but it's how you use it. So we use our precision drivers slightly
Wait, do you want
differently.
to grab the, do you want to grab, oh, you're grabbing yours? Okay, fine. We're going to compare. I'll grab mine, he'll grab his, and you guys can all watch. What? Colin, what are you doing? Look at this guy. He's laughing like he can actually understand anything we're saying.
Wow.
Look, he tries. He tries really hard, but it's a bit of a struggle. Okay, here we go. Okay. So this is ours. This is the old iFixit one that Alex likes. And what you'll notice is that while we do have a length and girth advantage, Alex has far more ribbing.
Yes. I really like the knurling when it comes all the way up to here, because then you can hold it index finger there and like that. Great.
Whereas I am more of a, this goes kind of here in the palm, and I'm a down here kind of knurl twister. So you showed me a different way that you used yours that was like this or something, and you would do that.
Yeah,
or
I
something,
sometimes
think.
put it like there.
Yeah. So
That
it would
kind of a
be
thing.
be hard to reach the knurling if you were to do that. So everyone has their own preference. Personally, I'm really happy with this one, and one of the things that makes me most happy about this one is that do we have oh yeah, I don't need the wrench. It's not that tight. I haven't actually shown this yet. We are going to have interchangeable tops. So we are already planning a concave one, if you really like putting your finger on the top. We are already planning a convex one, if you like it to be more rounded, going into your palm. It will ship by default with the flat top, and then, oh, sorry, Andy. You see the little laser LTT on there. And then we're also already planning a bigger one, which will have two benefits. If you have big hands, it'll make it cup a little bit nicer. And two, it'll make it spin for longer, because we know our audience. So with that hybrid ceramic bearing, I'm not going to make you guys sit and watch while this spins until it's done, but we'll just let it kind of sit there while I use my full-size driver to finish installing this. Where'd that go? There it is. Dan, do you want to hit me with another merch message?
Yeah, sure. We got a few more in here. How have you seen traditionally non-tech roles? I'm an attorney, for example, transition into tech roles or LMG. I worked IT in college and minored in CS, but I'm struggling to get into a tech company.
Wow.
It's a big question.
That's a really big question. I got to be honest with you guys. I mean, common misconception. We're not a tech company so much as we are a media company. So we definitely do look for a very tech-adjacent skill set, because otherwise it's pretty tough. Oh, I got it. It's pretty tough to succeed here. Oh, is that still going? Yes, it's still going. And for our part, we don't really look for people that necessarily have exactly, oh, it stopped. We don't necessarily look for people that have exactly the perfect background. Obviously, having some experience is good, but I mean, that's a really great question. I mean, when I was very early in my career, the answer was obvious, right? Like, I don't know, you do volunteer work at a sort of adjacent place. You know, you volunteer at a veterinary clinic if you're trying to make connections there or whatever else. But when you're established in your one career and you're transitioning from that to another career, truthfully, I'm not really sure how to do that. I went straight from the one main career that I ever had to starting my own business. So this was your first serious job, right?
Yeah, like I had a bunch of co-op terms and stuff before that.
Dan!
In engineering.
You had a pretty, so that's kind of what I was talking about before, co-op volunteering, but Dan, you had a significant career transition.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's reasonably similar. Mine kind of moved into a far more tech-centric thing. I mean, I used to be a professional audio engineer, but because we were kind of a mixed-use space, we also were a broadcast house, and so we used to do live streams of concerts every weekend. Like in 2019, pre-pandemic, I did around 192 four-hour concert broadcasts. And so there was a lot of tech involved in that too. I mean, audio these days is really tech heavy, I guess. I kind of made a little mini float plane on the back of Amazon CDN for our real-time transcoding and streaming and stuff like that. We were doing big data science for all of our marketing and audience metrics and stuff like that.
I think basically it's going to depend on the company and their hiring practices in a big way. Like if they're looking for certifications or, they're basically throwing away any resume that doesn't have X number of years of experience, then there's nothing you're really going to be able to do about that. But if they're open-minded, well, then, hey, maybe if you can show you've got the skills, you've got a shot. Alex.
Yeah.
Something that I observed is that this case, unfortunately, this mounting mechanism does not allow the fans to sit right flush up against the radiator frame.
Yes.
I am not a fan of that. Having this gap here gives up a lot of the static pressure that this fan can generate. And instead of drawing air through the fins or pushing air through the fins, you're going to be wasting a lot of it. Think of it kind of like when you're heating or cooling your home and you have a draft under the door. No, that's actually not the same thing. All I'm trying to illustrate is that having gaps when you're trying to do something with air is bad, and it's not good for efficiency. So I was kind of thinking, if we have some foam tape or something, we could probably get better performance if we topped these up. Do we have any foam tape?
I actually had a reminder for myself last night to get some 1/8" foam tape that I just have at my house for projects, and I forgot. But I can run to 105 right now.
Sure.
And get the stuff that we have.
Okay.
Not as good, but we can arts and crafts it.
Yeah, let's arts and crafts it. I want to show this in its best possible light. Here, I'll give you a close up of what I was talking about there, Andy. And Dan, do you want to prep another merch message?
Yeah, sure. Let's see what we have here.
For those of you who aren't familiar, maybe you don't watch the WAN show, you only watch these streams, or maybe you don't watch any of our streams, merch messages are the way that we do paid interactions. So rather than doing super chats on YouTube or bits on Twitch or whatever else, we do merch messages. And the idea is that instead of just throwing money at your screen, you can throw money at a nice t-shirt or a hoodie or a screwdriver or some bits or a toque or any number of the other awesome things that we have over on LTT Store. We've got some great pajamas that we're promoting right now. And then it will, if you're in the checkout, I always forget if it's the cart or the checkout. If you're in the checkout, no, the cart. If you're in the cart, a little box will appear anytime we're live, and you can leave a merch message. It'll go to our producer, Dan, who will either direct it to the appropriate person to respond to you, respond to it himself, or curate it for me, and then during WAN show, Luke and then Dan, we will address them as a group sometimes to respond to you. I'm trying to figure out why Alex brought 4 fans. Surely we can't fit that many fans in the system. But anyway, that's how merch messages work. And then at least that way, if you have to throw money at a screen, you can throw money at a screen and then get an order in the mail. Some nice high quality merchandise. Okay, Dan, hit me.
Sure. Hello, I was wondering if any more screwdriver colorways are in the works. I personally would love a black main body with dark blue or purple accents.
Okay. In the long term, the ideal, like the optimal outcome would be that we would have a configurator, kind of like what Microsoft has with Xbox controllers. That is super cool, and aspirationally, that's what I would like us to be able to get to. However, there's a lot of There's a lot of business reasons why that's really difficult. It's difficult to manage inventory because all of a sudden you take what is right now, let me think, how many SKUs do we have? So a SKU, or a stock keeping unit, is an item, right? So right now, we have our SKUs for the add-on bits. Those are separate. So for the actual screwdriver itself, we have our SKU for the bit pack that goes into the end. We have our SKU for the black and orange in full size, the stubby in black, the stubby in black and orange. We have the retro. We have the Noctua in the 2 various colorways, and that's it. Now, I can break things down even more from like an engineering standpoint. We do have more SKUs. We have all 4 pieces of the Noctua in both colors because we have 2 versions of it. We have cream and brown and cream. So this is 4 SKUs for the plastics. And then for retro, we have another 4 SKUs. We don't offer this one inverted, so that's a total of 8. For black on black and orange, we have a total of 6, so that's 14. We have 14 items to handle when it comes, pun intended, I guess, to handle when it comes to keeping track of our plastics stock. When we offer configurator, that increases by an order of magnitude, essentially. So it's a lot for us to keep track in terms of replenishment and in terms of stocking. It's a lot for us to figure out in terms of the workflow for how to essentially either build them to order or build small batches out of the bare parts and then stock them. And I think that right now during this refocusing time, we really are quite refocused on video. So I don't think that's something you're going to see from us immediately, but yeah, in the longer term, we'd love to be able to offer any number of different colorways because I think they look super cool. And the feedback that we got from people at LTX was really positive. Like, man, I love this thing. Even making that happen though, they ended up costing, I think about, was it like $20 extra or something like that, just to justify all the small run plastic production runs we had to do, plus all the work. We had to acquire those arbor presses so people could build them themselves. It was a huge, enormous undertaking to make that happen. So I think if I came to the engineering team and I was like, hey, guess what? We're doing it again, but on a larger scale, they'd probably hit me.
Yeah, so our foam tape selection, not great. It's way too thick in every direction.
Oh, that's terrible.
So my thought is to just tape over the sides.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
All right.
Dan, you want to hit me with another merch message?
Yeah, sure. Got some more here for you.
These are M3.
Hey, Linus, you know how we create usernames or handles when we were children and they kind of stick with us for life?
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and change your channel name from LTT, would you change it?
Well, what I certainly wouldn't do is change it to any of my childhood handles. I actually am pretty sad that I don't still have my original Hotmail account. I allowed it to lapse at some point because I had come up with what I thought was a pretty clever play on words for a new one, and I had transitioned everything over there, and I was like, yeah, who would ever want an old email account for nostalgia? It turns out me, because I'm sort of a digital pack rat, but my first email address was mumu_the_cow at hotmail.com. I don't know why I thought that was funny. I don't know why I thought that was cool. I think it might have just been out of kind of frustration that it felt like even back then, all the good handles were taken. I mean, I'm sure you guys feel even more strongly that all the good handles are taken these days. But yeah, I was during my formative years on the internet, I was Mumu the cow. I ended up subbing that out for the Peanuts Gallery, which I thought was very funny because From Shakespearean times, the peanut gallery would have been like the rowdy bunch that are the uncouth, standing room folks at the theater who might be, catcalling and leaving their peanut shells all over the place. And I was something of a, in a usually relatively wholesome way, I was like kind of a troublemaker. Like I liked trouble, but I was like too much of a good kid to really get in that much trouble. So I would play with fireworks and gasoline, but I wouldn't take up the smoke. I don't know how to describe my particular brand of being kind of a kind of trouble. So then the Peanuts Gallery, because it's the Peanuts Gallery, is sort of a reference to my name being Linus, who is a character in the comic strip Peanuts, who most people these days, if they know of it at all, know it as Charlie Brown. So Linus was Charlie Brown's friend and the love interest of Charlie Brown's sister. He was usually the voice of reason, which I thought contrasted really well with my name being the Peanut Gallery. I thought it was funny. So that's the humor of 15 or 16-year-old me, or whatever. That one I still have, but I don't monitor it, so don't bother. So no, I don't think that I would go back and do either of those things. And oh right, so my gamer handle, once I finally adopted a gamer handle, was Closet Gamer. I still go by that, unless I just call myself Linus Tech in public. Because I kind of think it's funny that most people just think I'm an imposter, because most people who put Linus Tech Tips in their names are imposters. So I actually get to be kind of stealthier, in a sense, by going as Linus Tech Tips or Linus Tech, rather than Closet Gamer. No one will even believe me anyway if I say that that's who I am. Hey, I thought these were supposed to be exhaust.
Oh, balls.
Cool. Did you just, was that the last screw that you just put in?
Yeah.
Nice.
And they're hard screws to find, because I don't know, we just have a bunch of different rad screws.
Nice. Can I see one of them just so that I can go look? You know what? In fact, can each of us just take 2 of them? And can we just use the 4 that you have?
Sure.
Nice. Sharing is caring. So no, I think Linus Tech Tips was actually better than any of those names. In summary, I didn't pick it, by the way. So it wasn't even up to me. These are not the right threading, and we just have to kind of go give her, right?
It felt like the right threading to me.
Cool. Well, whether it is or isn't, it's going in now.
Sure.
Yeah, that definitely hopped out for me the first time. Yeah, okay, now it's threaded like this.
Okay, cool.
I mean, any hole is threaded for any screw as long as you push hard enough. Dan.
Sorry, I got it. Yeah, you're right. Y'all's work has helped change my life for the better. I can't be more thankful. Linus et al. Is providing tech tips to us a heavy burden to bear, given how techie the world is getting every day.
No, I do think that I think we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves sometimes. I think that, I think we have to put all 4 in to hold the spacers in. Oh, what now?
Oh, you're correct. I don't like the way they're threading in.
Oh yeah, no, you have to give her. This one went in eventually. It's on there. No, in summary, no. I think there's times when we felt pressure, felt like there's an opportunity or a responsibility to do better. I think that's where a big part of the motivation, I think that's where a big part of the motivation for building the lab comes from. As you guys obviously can tell, not everything's gone perfectly, but we're patient, we have time. We're gonna keep building, keep making it better, keep improving. There's particular spaces where I think that when I was coming up as a young tech enthusiast, there was lots of learning resources that were super accessible and free. And in some ways, it's better now than ever. What's that really cool channel called that does those amazingly visualized deep dives on like how RAM works and stuff? Do you remember what that channel's called? Okay, whatever. They need a shout out. So I'm just gonna go.
I can find it for you if you want to.
Right now. No.
Okay.
It was sponsored by Crucial or Micron or something like that, so it should be easy to find. Yeah, branch education. So like there's some really cool resources now that didn't exist then, but there's also resources we had then that don't exist, or at least are not as plentiful anymore. Like it used to be that you could go to a dozen different sources and get a reputable review of something like and I don't even just mean like GPUs and CPUs, like the big ones that get clicks. I'm talking like a Vantech Aeroflow, some cooler. You could go and find a dozen reviews of that. And for the most part, they would be like, kind of done by people who really care about this and are making this their livelihood. And that has just kind of shriveled and died. So yeah, we do feel a responsibility sometimes to kind of bring that back. But on the other hand, so sort of more in line with the question that you asked, is because of the world becoming more tech reliant, do we feel that responsibility? I don't think so. Like I don't think we're really talking to your uncle and auntie. We don't make videos about how to clear the recycle bin. I don't think that's our place. And so talking to the enthusiasts, enthusiast to enthusiast, you guys have always been there. You're always going to be there. And as these things go more mainstream and people need help with the basics, like, why is it that when I press the button, it does one thing, and when I hold the button, it does another thing? Like, that's not really going to be our role. And I think we'd rather just kind of leave that to someone else.
Oh, it's going horribly.
Wow. Oh, wow. That really did. I think your problem might have been that you were hitting it there.
Yes, I know. And I moved it, and then it...
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it got worse.
Hold on. If we loosen this and then shovel of it a little bit, that might help.
Our idea of doing just 2 screws has kind of backfired.
Yes. Agreed. Okay, there. Yeah, you've got a bit more room now.
Got that.
So actually, at this point in time, merch message. That's how I stole for time.
It's a good deflection. Let's see. Hi, Linus. Regardless of their skill level, who would you most like to face in badminton 1v1?
Who would I? Well, I know that Marquez owes me a match. I don't remember why we agreed on it, but next time I'm in New York, I actually missed him last time because I was in and out pretty quickly, so I didn't message him and tell him I was going to be there. But next time I'm in New York and I have some time, we're supposed to play. And I think it was supposed to be a Channel Superfun video or something like that. Channel Superfun is on hiatus, but I see no reason why we couldn't upload Linus Tech Tips versus MKBHD badminton fight. Go. How are you doing there?
Not good.
So is there a reason we're not using the radiator screws that came with that kit? Are they just not long enough?
They're just a random mishmash, which is exactly what we're dealing with in other stuff.
Oh, but are they a random mishmash that's at least threaded correctly?
I have been using them for a bit.
I see. We have another problem.
Not all of them are threaded correctly.
This spacer moved.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. You know what? I think I can get it. I just need to... Okay, nope, not with that. Do you have a full iFixit kit handy?
This is the kind of thing that we normally just remove from the video.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. That's okay. I'm having fun. It's Wednesday, guys. It's hump day. We're over the hump. Well, at the midpoint.
Yeah,
of today,
we're in the hump.
Yeah, we're humping hard right now. Or okay, so I was kind of thinking.
If it's like just hitting it, that's fine.
Well, here, can we? Sorry, Andy. If we loosen this a little bit, it might spin a bit more easily. And then, no, it's not hitting it. It's just like not touching at all anymore. So then I'll bring this. Let me see if I can bring this back. Oh yeah, bringing it back. Oh yeah. Okay, man, we're bringing that back. No problem. Okay. Hey, cool. That should go in.
All right, I'm actually gonna put this one in first, but
Are you actually going to do it?
no, I'm gonna try and put it in and then discover it's the wrong thread.
I believe that is a valid use of the word actually. When you have failed to do something previously, I think that is, if someone objects to saying, I'm actually going to do it this time, they're being too much of a stickler. Okay, Dan, hit me. Oh, sorry. What's that?
It was the wrong thread, but it's the right thread now.
Okay. Is this installed?
I think that's enough.
Oh, no, we've got...
We've got some missing screws,
Oh, okay.
and we've still got to tape it.
I really sincerely hope that we put these fan leads on the right side for cable management because I did not consider that.
I also did not.
Cool.
Sweet.
But this looks awesome.
Oh yeah.
Check that out, guys. Oh, sick. Love it.
Can I make your day worse?
I mean, I don't think that's a question. You definitely can.
Why are we using the brown Noctua fans?
Oh,
Because we don't have 140s.
Ah, that makes
In
a lot of
brown.
sense.
oh.
We got the brown rubber covers. Some people have been asking about that.
Yeah, those are at the lab.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's in a different building now.
Yeah.
It turns out that
It'll be fine.
140 millimeter anything is just really not common these days.
Yeah, we haven't had those in stock for a long while.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should get some 140 millimeter Noctuas. Oh, you can get a close up of that. Yes, I am aware that it is inconvenient to have things in the other building.
I'm just ripping.
If we can come up with a better solution, we will.
We have bicycles. That's a good solution.
Yeah.
Bicycles aren't a good solution. We need a fleet.
Oh,
of
we
mini
got.
trucks.
I could just get some paint from 105.
You guys see what I have to deal with all day, right? No wonder I no longer wanted to be CEO. It sounds like a glamorous position, but it's like it turns out you're CEO of the circus. Like, oh, okay. I see why he stepped down.
Head clown master.
I mean, Matt Pat and Tom Scott didn't even have to deal with Dan, and they're just like, peace.
You're way stronger willed than they are. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, watch out. Should we move that box so Andy doesn't trip over it?
Okay, that's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this way, we're not going to be leaking any air, and we still end up with what is actually a pretty clean-looking install. Love it. Okay, here, do you want me to turn this around for you?
I'm just going to fully block the camera.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay. I mean, why do the people need to see anything anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, hit me then.
Sure. Okay, give me 1 second here. There we go.
I swear, this is sort of about building a computer. There'll be a computer at the end.
Yeah, there will be.
There'll be a computer at the end.
It'll be so
There's
good.
an end. Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Linus, for a desktop, if you had to pick between a plastic case, a metal case, or a wooden case, which would you pick?
For me, there's no question metal. I love well-crafted aluminum cases. That's always been a bit of a fetish of mine. Silverstone in particular, those guys can do things with aluminum that just blow the mind. Lee & Lee is right up there as well. I love what those guys do. Even, what's their face? Johnsbow. Johnsbow is a company that just came out of absolutely nowhere for me. Like, what was it, like 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago? We like saw them at Computex or something, and we're like, who the F is Johnsbow? And why do their cases look so good? Yeah, Johnsbow is pretty cool. I'm trying to think who else. Inwin. Inwin is one of those companies that for a long time, like back in the early 2000s, their reputation was just sort of trashed here. Like, I'm talking $26 cases, like that sort of thing. And then nowadays, it's like they have like a Skunk Works department or something that every once in a while will be like, oh, by the way, unlike most other people, we're an actual manufacturer you know, that owns manufacturing facilities, and you know, we can make things that no one else can make. Like they'll build like a case that seems to exist for no reason other than to act as a complete flex. Like there's no way they could sell that many of them. There's no way the costing makes any sense for most PC builders. Back when we did that compensator that used that cast aluminum case with like the swirl thing, that was in Win. So yeah, metal. I'm a metal guy. Practicality be damned. This is going to be my daily driver screwdriver once we create it. If anything, Alex, I was going to tell the guys I'd love to get a couple of copper ones and then like gold plate them myself and assemble it myself, so I could have like a gold accented one to go with my gold controller project. By the way, if anyone wants to buy the controller, the previous buyer that we had lined up for it has officially ghosted now. So
Please, buy it.
it would be great. You know, gold has actually gone up a fair bit.
Just melt it down.
So, yeah, so if you don't act now, I'll destroy it. I won't. I can't do it, Alex. Too much went into it. From you, from the I forget their names, but the goldsmithing place. Like
Yeah.
It's a piece of
Wait,
art. It's gamer art. It's Gart. Oh, cool. Is this ready to go in?
Yeah.
Assuming I can actually get it back in. I hope so. So, damn. Oh, almost did it again. Let's see if we can figure out how to do this.
So we did the fan leads on the wrong side.
So
Oh
did
wait,
we?
no, it's probably fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So do I just need to... I did it again. Do I just need to... How is this supposed to go in, Alex? It's not even close.
Oh wow.
You
There
see
we
what I'm
go.
talking about?
Just had to refund.
That, you have to experience this for yourself, Alex. I'm going to undo it, but not the whole way.
Is it right smooth?
Hold on. No. You don't. No. Don't look. Don't look. Don't touch. Okay. Go. Okay. Try it. Well, don't do it like that.
Oh. Yeah. That's satisfying. That's proper satisfying.
Wow. Okay. Check this out, you guys. Okay. Look. Look at that. Look at this. Like, I could lick this, and there would be no room for any saliva residue in between these pieces. This is incredible. I love it. I love this kind of thing, man. This is awesome. Dan, hit me.
Sure, let's see. We've got a couple more here.
Yeah, chat's like, wow, that's clean. Flush AF. Yeah, a little bit.
I love the vibe of this stream. Also, does Alex know that he can screw open the iFixit screwdriver to store 2 bits? Mine screws open right above the knurling.
What?
I agree with Alex on the knurling as well.
Where's your screwdriver?
I
Can
can
see it?
unscrew it, but I always thought that was just a flaw because of manufacturing.
What? I know their plastic one has bit storage in it, like with little clips and everything, like our full-sized one. But I didn't know any of the metal ones had that.
You can, if you like, reef on it.
Oh, do you need a wrench? Does
Ooh,
it does it have a
I mean,
like a wrench
are you sure you're supposed to do this?
point?
I've definitely done it before.
Oh, we believe you. I swear this never happens. Can I try?
Sure.
If I get it, I'm just gonna say you loosened it for me though. No, I can't get it.
Yeah, it's more of a friction problem than anything else.
Well, what you probably did, knowing you, is you probably secured it at some point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it came off, and then I just put it in a vise and was like, that's not happening again.
So, good job, I guess. I don't think you're gonna. Yeah,
I don't want to
chew
hurt
up.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the tech tip. All right, let's plug in our front panel connector here. Power switch. Dan, hit me.
Okay. Do I even have any more curated? Oh, Linus, if this PC you're building right now had a name, what would it be?
Oh,
Also,
Alex is the king when it comes to naming computers. So you know what? Why don't we each come up with a name, and then we'll let the audience vote. You guys can decide what you want it to be named.
I'll prep a poll.
Are we going to, first of all, are we going to go with, I mean, it's going to have to be a feminine name, probably, right? You typically go that route?
I was actually kind of thinking like something a bit.
Is it because of the wood?
I have a name.
Is it because of the
I've
wood?
got one. I've got one.
All right.
Okay. Here, so we'll come over here. Okay, so Dan, do you want to go ahead and create the poll, and we'll present our names with, you know, in a completely impartial way, so that we won't bias the poll. Who wants to go first? Do you want to go first?
Sure. I think this should be Joe.
Joe.
Yes, Joe.
Okay.
Just simple Joe.
I wanted Sandy.
Sandy's not bad. Can I throw in a third?
I guess.
Can we add Geraldine to the poll?
How the hell do you spell that? Gerald.
Geraldine.
That one fits the way that I've done the sleepers more so.
Geraldine, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Just those three? Nobody else has suggestions?
I mean, it's an odd suggestion, but Colin wants John, which I think is just it's too similar to Joe and is going to kind of split the vote.
Okay.
But I'm not going to argue with him. I mean, I can't. How do you? Anyway.
No? Okay.
All right. So we'll let the people decide. Actually, is the poll result going to be up here? Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Show the results in real time. And Geraldine is running away with it.
Not surprising.
No, that's not surprising. But Sandy is a very distant second.
Oh, the gap's closing.
Get it? Sandy?
Boo!
What do you mean, boo? That's good. That's good humor. That's wholesome, clean
All right, Linus,
fun.
We have a computer to build.
Linseed
Oh,
oil.
right. Remember when I said at the beginning of this stream that we would focus on building the computer this time and it would be fast? I need a cable tie. That's what I'm distracted by right now. I want a cable tie to hold this. Do we have any cable ties kicking around?
Ooh.
I'll get this AIO mounted in the meantime. Does Linus know there's something called sandalwood? Yes, I am aware of sandalwood, and that would have been very funny if this was made out of sandalwood, but no, it in fact is not. Okay, what's the, thermal compound. That's good. Okay, we're apparently going with MX4, and we chose this because it was in that drawer. Okay, do you want to get a close-up, Andy? There we go. Parfait. First time here. Okay. Dan, hit me.
Sure, yeah, I've still got a couple here to go. Would you ever consider making a T-handle version of the screwdriver? I have a ratcheting T-handle, and it's my favorite to use on anything that needs force. No one seems to make one for human hands. What?
Oh, yeah. We've had a couple of people request that, actually. It's not something that I personally use a lot, but it is something that we would love to do. The reason that it's a bit challenging is we would have to do entirely new molds for that, and it would be a very substantial redesign on top of the cost. And a T-handle screwdriver is a bit more of a niche tool. So we were concerned about amortizing the cost of those molds over a smaller number of units, and we were worried that it would result in a retail price that was too high to be palatable. You guys got to remember that even though we've sold like somewhere between 125 and 150,000 screwdrivers or something like that, in the grand scheme of things, that is nothing. That's a rounding error for a company like a Stanley or a Milwaukee or like a Snap-on or someone like that. So we're still an extremely small fish in a gigantic pond. Can I help you? You look concerned.
I'm thinking about how we're going to get the 8-pin EPS connected.
Creatively?
Yes.
I mean, it can't go under the motherboard anyway, so.
Well, but I'm thinking that it kind of can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it would just be really annoying if we need to do it right now.
Dude, that would be terrible. I think there's too many rear-mounted components on this board. I don't think it's going to have enough clearance, even if we flattened it out completely.
Well, speaking of power supplies, do you want to have an argument?
Yes. Yes, we can. But before we do that, I want to thank our sponsor, XSplit. Whether you're a streamer, a content creator, or you're always on video call for work, XSplit's suite of tools can help your content look more professional. Their broadcaster tool allows users to capture, produce, and stream high-quality video to popular platforms like YouTube and Twitch. Is Twitch still popular? Anyway, it also has some super cool features like custom transitions, multi-streaming, per-stream audio, and it can record your broadcast as it happens with features like multiple audio tracks, which makes post-production editing a breeze. So check it out at the link below, and you can save 69% using code Linus. Now, Alex wanted to use this power supply for the build. It's a good choice. 850 watts, 80 plus gold efficiency, modular interface, pretty reputable brand. I see what you've done. I wanted to use an SFX-L power supply, and the reason for that is that while it isn't technically a standard SFX-sized power supply, SFX-L is Silverstone's little pet project that uses a slightly longer version of SFX that allows them to use a 100 millimeter fan, which is substantially quieter when it spins up compared to the, I believe, it's 92 mil in a, 92 millimeter fan that is as big as you can get on a standard depth SFX. However, Alex, being the snarky git that he is, brought dead ones.
No, I brought the most alive ones we have. So I said that these have problems with reliability. We have 3 in the office. One of them, well, we have 2 in the office. We had 3. One was sent back because it died. The other 2 were in the pile of power supplies that we need to test because they might be dead. All right. So this one right here, definitely dead, almost definitely. It says no power, clicky clack from Ploof. This one right here, we might be able to use if you feel like risking it today. It just says needs to be tested.
I don't feel like risking anything for any biscuits today.
All right.
All right.
There we go. Easy.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it's not a widespread issue, but if it is, then Silverstone, can you deal with that? Then appreciate you guys. All right, let's get a power supply installed. Okay, with that in mind then, hey, we don't have any of those cable mod cables for Cooler Master, do we?
No.
All right, well, with that in mind, at least we have super flat cables. So if we did want to do that thing you said and run this under the motherboard, it is a possibility. It's not that much work. I only put 3 screws in the board. So yeah, if we teamwork this, I think we can do it pretty quickly. While Dan reads us a message. Doesn't have to be a merch message, by the way, Dan. If you just see anything interesting in the chat, in the Floatplane chat, feel free to kind of jot it down on a notepad or whatever.
Moat Squid says, oh no. Okay, I got another merch message for you. Hi, Linus. What are your thoughts on the internet never forgets? I feel like the internet is forgetting a lot of stuff that I swear existed.
No, I actually, I strongly disagree with that these days. In a way, the explosion in user-generated content and in just general data storage requirements for big cloud providers has led to an internet that, in my opinion, is more forgetful than ever. Like, when's the last time you went on Wayback Machine, for example, and fired up a site that you haven't visited in a long time and were like, did this ever look like this?
I don't. Oh, I can't think of that.
Okay, well then that's even more forgotten because Alex apparently just doesn't even go on Wayback Machine. Every time I go on there, I'm like, holy crap. Did Apple's site really look like that? Did they really have that banner? Like, and part of it is companies making active efforts to make things forgotten. Like, do you guys remember when, sorry, I've got Apple on the mind right now, but do you guys remember when Apple forced that guy who was archiving all of their old marketing materials and their old keynotes and stuff, forced him to get rid of it? Like, they want us to forget. I mean, with Apple, I suspect there's an ulterior motive that they want to sell us a table book or like a table Blu-ray at some point that has their old like keynotes on it or something. But that is absolutely a thing that's happening, is companies treating what should be, in my opinion, part of the public record as their own copyrighted property and either hoarding it for themselves or asking for it to be deleted. And there's so much now that it's almost like you can't have enough people who are passionate enough about preservation to preserve everything. The sheer volume of content is just impossible to deal with. So no, I disagree that the internet never forgets. I think the internet forgets far more now than it did back when we first started. Like forums, man. Forums are disappearing. And forums were a big part of what never forgot because they were low cost to maintain. They were mostly text-based. No one ever deleted anything. Like moderators or administrators would lock threads, but they typically wouldn't delete them. And a lot of conversation went on in public on forums. And now, okay, you've got Reddit, but I don't know, Reddit feels a little more volatile than forums in terms of, I don't mean volatile in terms of people like arguing. Forums were as bad as Reddit because they're populated by people and people are volatile. I mean volatile in terms of like DRAM versus NAND flash, you know, volatile storage versus non-volatile. Yeah, Optane. Forums were Optane, and Reddit's more like RAM. You know, as long as the power stays applied to it, then it won't lose anything. All right. This is a really small computer for 2 people to work on it.
Yeah.
So I guess I just, you know what I could do is I could talk about our GPU. Why don't I do that?
Sure.
NVIDIA launched the RTX 4080 Super today. We have a review coming. It is currently in editing. In fact, hey, Andy, how long's that lead? Do you want to come see who's editing it and check in on them? Nice. Hey, okay, Colin's on it, or Dan's on it. Well, someone's on it. Is this acoustic panel fixed here? What's up? Oh, is there someone on probation that I shouldn't be showing?
Oh no, my concern's more so just tell them not to have like emails and stuff open.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, can we bring a camera in here for a minute? Oh, okay. All right, yeah, we'll just bring a camera in here. I was just wondering, who's working on the 480 video? Oh, we have to go, oh.
But you can probably see his screen.
Oh, does he work from home?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, okay, I guess this is gonna get even more adventurous. Ed, we're just bringing the internet into your space. This is good. Here, I'll take care of this for you. Like your Premiere hat.
I'm on a shell. You're a shell.
Okay, so here's the video being edited remotely. L-roll, performance per dollar graph. So yeah, it's currently in editing, and then it's going to go to QC, and then it should be up, I think, either very late today or early tomorrow. I'm not sure. Anyway, Andy, if you want to go back that way with Alex, I'm just going to drop off Ed's stuff. I like to be helpful, you know? That's my business cards, Chief Vision Officer and Janitor. I'll meet you on the other side.
You want to turn around, Andy?
Yeah, that might be a good idea, Andy. Or not.
I'm here. I'm back. Okay, so we're not really designed for this kind of thing, but it worked, huh? Neat. Good job, everyone.
We got used to you, and now we plan for everything.
This is a really long SDI cable. Is this one of the ones that you built, Dan?
No.
Oh, all right.
No, we never ended up getting the stuff to do the custom crimped ones.
Oh, I thought we were going to do that and just like buy bulk cable or whatever.
It would be nice. The Belden 6G or 12G stuff is super flexible, but you have to buy it on like 600-foot rolls. But maybe we could get that approved, eh, Andy? Andy, would you want that? Yeah? Yeah.
It's a lot of
Please.
feet.
Please. They're really nice.
Let's talk about the RTX 4080 Super, shall we? Our review is going to be coming out, but I've already looked at performance. I've already looked at the script. I've hosted the video, so obviously I know a handful of things about it. In a nutshell, we had this joke. This was Adam's idea, and I thought it was really funny, where throughout the entire video, we had planned every time I said RTX 4080 Super, we were going to cut out the audio and then replace it with TikTok voice saying something like refreshed, rehashed, refried, replaced, like just anything, any two-syllable something other than super, redux, to indicate that it is really not very different from the original RTX 4080. But for clarity, we ended up taking that out and we ended up just calling it RTX 4080 Super because NVIDIA's naming scheme has gotten confusing enough already. You've got the 4-digit number, you've got maybe nothing, maybe TI, maybe non-TI, maybe TI, maybe Super, maybe TI Super. That one hurts my brain. TI Super? What are you even talking about? And so we didn't want to end up in a situation where it just wasn't clear what card we were talking about. So we ended up calling it 4080 Super throughout the review. But we were not very impressed by this thing's performance uplift over the original 4080. While it does have more of the die unlocked, more of the die functioning, what it doesn't have is an appreciably greater power limit. So what ends up happening is that in gaming in particular, that extra, those extra CUDA cores end up costing us clock speed because we have to power them. And so we found that in games, performance was on par, or in one case, it was even a little bit lower than the standard RTX 4080, which was a big disappointment. Now, it's worth noting, guys, that just because our card, our 4080 Super, performed a little bit lower than our 4080 in one particular game, doesn't necessarily mean that that would be your observation. We did that really cool video recently where we looked at about a dozen of AMD's Ryzen 7800 X3Ds and noted that the performance delta across them was as great as, I think we observed about 8% in Factorio. And that wasn't even our outlier, ridiculously different CSGO result. And that's across chips with the exact same model number. So conceivably, if our 4080 Super was at the bottom end of a let's call it a sort of 2 to 8% spread, and then our 4080 non-Super was at the top end of a spread like that, can I twist this so they can just kind of see being installed? You could easily have a 4080 that outperforms a 4080 Super while everything is sort of, you know, normal, and the 4080 Super is still a faster card. So it's gotten really challenging making recommendations these days, and it's gotten really challenging, I think, for people to understand exactly what the performance they should expect from a product is. So we're a little disappointed, but we're also not going to just say, you know, NVIDIA didn't update anything, because on the one hand, like, yeah, it is a slightly different card, and it did perform measurably better in, say, for example, AI workloads, which is cool if you're someone who needs an affordable AI card, and your work isn't buying it for you, so you want to use a consumer-grade card. And the price is obviously more appealing, but I don't know, man. It's pretty hard for me to see how happy people are to see a $1,000 GPU. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that NVIDIA's 80 or 800 class card was, $600, $500, $700. $1,000 is still a flippin' lot of money, guys, especially for something that is now midway through its life cycle, right? Like, yeah, it's super now or whatever, but this is fundamentally the same die that NVIDIA developed, 2 years ago or whatever it was, a year and a half. I can't remember exactly when they launched 40 series. It's all been kind of a blur. It's like, which crypto winter were we in at that point? I'm no longer sure. It's really fast though. It's like ripping fast. Play all the 4K games. I can't get this thumb screw in. Sorry, it's really tall, right? It's got this gigantic cooler on it, much of which we're not really going to be able to take advantage of. It's got the pass-through cooling in the back here, and it's a pretty tight squeeze here. Hopefully our ventilation is going to be okay. I'm gonna try and get in here. In the meantime, Dan, do you want to hit me with another merch message? Hopefully you guys are enjoying the vibe of the stream today. I actually have not been. I have not been monitoring chat that much because I've been busy trying to figure out how to build this computer.
Yeah, I've been looking through any questions and stuff from there. Do you want to have a chat question or something?
Yeah, hit me, Dan.
This is by Ohotniks. Any news on the development of the LTT mouse? I remember Linus showed an early prototype back when he was touring Creator Warehouse.
It's not dead, but it's definitely sidelined. We have other higher priorities where I feel we are able to provide a more clear value proposition, and we have a more obvious reason for putting the resources into building the product. Not necessarily because we think it's a bigger market or we think we could sell more of them. I mean, a mouse is a really obvious one for us that I think we could be really successful with. But it's more that we have some really good ideas for how to differentiate our product in these other categories. And so they make more sense for us to prioritize. It's a better, I don't want this to be misinterpreted. It's a better story. That doesn't mean it's a fictional story. It just means that it's a more cohesive message and a more obvious positioning for the product in the market. We have one thing coming in particular that I'm really excited about because it takes something that I think people are finally starting to wise up to a little bit that is really disposable and treated as intentionally disposable by manufacturers, and it makes it the last one you'll ever need, TM. Like obviously, if you lose it or it, breaks, then it won't be the last one you ever need. But it will be far more user serviceable, and it will be far easier to extend its lifespan than anything else that's on the market right now. And it's taking a lot of work for us to do it because there's a lot of safety validation that has to go into that. But I'm really excited about what the team's doing, and I think that you guys are going to lose your minds when you see it. You'll be like, wow, this is so sensible. Why wasn't everybody doing this? And the answer is because it's hard, and you have to be motivated by something other than wanting to sell you a new one 2 years later. Okay, the GPU is in.
Yay.
Yay, indeed. Alex, is this really your cable management for this?
We're working on it.
I'm not trying to be judgmental, but...
No, everything that I've done so far is just stuff that I know I can kind of cram away.
I see.
And then once it's all sort of in there, we can
Alex,
do a bit more. Yes?
the thing you put in your notes. Here, watch. Look at the notes. Hold on, I'm gonna go this much down.
Oh, damn it. Yep, I know.
It says, remember to plug in the
yep.
90-degree display port connector before putting in the GPU. I had to scroll 3 lines to see your note about that. Dang it. So I guess that's coming back out.
Heck yeah.
Is there it? No. That's really not going in, is it?
Nope, it isn't.
Balls.
There's,
Oh, wait, I have an idea. Maybe I can just take out the one side. That would be a very Linus solution. Oh, wow, that's really in there. Oh, yeah, that's not moving at all. Okay, cool. Huh. Both sides are coming out. All right, Dan. Quick, buy me some time.
Hello, L and D. I guess Alex is here too. Don't forget about Alex. I just watched the new video on the LAN Center. Is there an estimate on when LANs could start? I'm graduating this year, and a friend and I would love to come make it our senior trip. Thanks.
Oh, super cool. I think that's a wonderful question for Chase. Colin, can you go find Chase? Chase? You know who Chase is? Chase.
Jesus.
Like with the, yeah, no, he knows. He knows Chase. Names are a little bit hard for him because he's still kind of learning. And like, I don't know, what is Chase? Is it a bank? Is it a person? Is it a thing you do when you're running after somebody? So anything that has kind of double meanings, he's struggling with a little bit, but he's making a lot of progress. We're really proud of him. All right, let's, which one? Is there, still good. Is there a particular one that it should be? Maybe this one?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Hopefully you mean yes and not sure. Sure is one of my trigger words. When someone says sure, it means I'm not going to think about it right now, and I'm probably going to come back to you later and tell you that it's not right.
Well, speaking of which,
Yeah.
our display capture is over HDMI.
Oh, so then we're not capturing.
Well, or we could just yeet HDMI in there right now and it's there forever.
Oh, I don't think it's going to fit, Alex. I don't think there's enough clearance. There's no way.
There's no way?
Yeah, there's no way. Look.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's not even close. Here.
No.
I'll show the people.
Do you want me to get a drill from 105?
No, I do not want to drill.
Okay.
We are not taking a drill to this case. I assure you that in spite of everything that you've seen so far, it is, if you weren't here at the beginning, okay, it is a work of art, and once we've got it put back together, it's going to look absolutely gorgeous.
We may have stumpier cables or a right angle
it's
adapter.
Fine. We'll just live without screen cap.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Dan, hit me.
Oh, yeah. Doo-doo-doo.
Can you push that a little bit? Because that
Sure.
would make this a lot easier.
Any interesting or favorite use cases you found for the upcoming magnetic cable management?
Oh, what was a really funny one I saw someone do the other day? Oh yeah, in the workshop. Did you see that someone put two of the big ones on the back door, the metal door?
No.
Okay. So we have we're good. We have door security bars on the door at the back of the shop, and so they're like the kind with like posts, and they slide in. You know, here. I'll show you what they look like. Basically like this.
Yep.
Okay, so they're security bars that make it harder to just like bash in a door with your shoulder, essentially. So they go in like this onto the door. And so what they did was they took two of the big ones, put them at an angle like this, so that when you aren't using it to block the door, you put them in the magnetic holders.
Oh, cool.
And they just stay on the back of the door instead of just getting hucked on the floor. So you then pull it out of the magnetic holder and then put it in place. And they're strong enough that they're a little bit different from these ones, but they're similar in terms of ruggedness, and it's holding them. So I saw that and I thought it was hilarious. This is the solution we have over on this side.
I have a more practical thing that's relatable for people.
Sure.
That I use it for. So on my desk, the legs are metal and they come down from the corner. And I have one just right at the top that clips in my headphone cord as string relief. So it's just right there, and then if I need to take it out, you just unmagnet it. You can take your headphones wherever, and then you just put it back in and clippy clip.
They
It's
are
great.
so useful.
Linus?
Yes, sir?
I got a picture of a scribbled note from Colin here. It says, can you tell Linus Chase is at labs?
Okay, all right. Well, Chase would know when our first LAN is going to be. They're telling us that building construction will be done probably sometime in the next 2 to 3 months, which means 6 months. So we would want to plan a LAN, because we're going to have to give people notice for exact dates that they can actually buy tickets and be there. So we can't have some vague timeline. So with that in mind, probably the first LAN will be, I'd say late summer or early fall is our best bet. Does that kind of make sense? Dan, does that kind of seem feasible?
Yeah.
Dan's also going to be involved, because not only will the building construction have to be done, but we'll have to get our networking equipment in there and set up in order to run a LAN.
Yeah,
presumably.
we do still have a lot of the equipment from LTX, but there's a lot of like backline infra that needs to get done, Steam cache, stuff like that. We can make it work.
Okay. Do you have LTT cable ties? I'm allergic to these ones. Look how red my hands are just from touching a non-LTT cable tie.
There you go.
No, that
I
didn't happen.
really like a zip tie for like a big bundle like this, though. So
I'll make it work. I will use the LTT cable tie, and it will be grand.
oh, you're doing it like that.
Yeah, that's the way you can cinch it. See? Cinched. All right.
Yeah, he did that to all of the cables in my desk, and it was horrible because every time that I needed to move one thing, like even an inch after the Intel upgrade, I'd have to like go underneath my desk like this to undo 14 of those cable ties.
Okay, look.
Now it would all be magnets.
Not all, yeah, that's true. We do have a solution for that we've been working on. You just, you got your Intel upgrade a little early, that's all. And they're now AMD upgrades. Just want to clarify that. AMD Ultimate Tech Upgrade, not Intel Extreme Upgrade, Tech Upgrade. I had wanted to find like a fun, reuse of an AMD acronym or something like that for the AMD ones as well, but I didn't have time to think about it, and nobody else could think of anything. So
Do you know I just found on the table?
The SSD?
Yeah, the SSD.
No, that'll be fine. Yeah, that just goes right
Yeah,
here.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's easy. We got this. No problem. Since when do we have packs of 4 cable ties?
I don't know. I was
What are
wondering about
these?
that too.
Yeah, what even? Yeah, wait here. I got a whole thing. Here. All right, Dan, hit me.
Okay. Sorry, wrong tab. What's
thinking.
your opinion about the Apple Vision Pro? Is it the future, or is it worth hyping now?
I want to try it. We bought one, obviously, because there's no way we're gonna not cover it. I have a deep interest in VR and augmented reality. I have only gotten as far as reading the instructions and charging it, but I just recently got my hands on the Nofio, the wireless adapter for the Valve Index. So in a sense, I'm not going to be comparing the Apple Vision Pro just to a Valve Index, or just to a Meta Quest 3, or just to Big Screen Beyond. Because Apple is going to be all about ecosystem. It's going to be all about experience. It's going to be all about what are the use cases, right? And when you talk about the use cases for that product, you have to talk about the price.
It's pretty expensive.
So for $3,500 US, okay, the Vision Pro has some clear benefits, right? Like it is a cordless solution. Like a Meta Quest 3, sort of. Get the power brick or whatever. But so is a Valve Index if you spend hundreds of dollars on a wireless adapter for it, or you, Andy, can I help you?
Yeah, we have top down.
Oh, we have top down. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, right, that makes sense. Haha, look, let's use that for the first time in the stream today.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So you're also up against like a kitted out with third-party accessories version of something that already exists. And I think that's a really interesting thing to talk about, because on the one hand, with something like a Vision Pro, yeah, I have the benefit of being able to use it anywhere in my house. Whereas with an Index, I gotta set up base stations, and they gotta have power, and gotta be positioned and calibrate the room and all that crap, right? That makes VR kind of inaccessible. But then, I could also buy a wireless adapter for it. That's pretty cool. Or are you just trying to trigger Andy by doing peels?
No.
Andy hates peeling things. And then like the Quest 3, man. Okay, so here's something. Like VR is already inherently kind of a forever alone thing. Well, the Quest 3 doesn't have to be forever alone at that point. You could buy, I mean, what does it work out to? Like 6 of them? Or something like that?
Okay, one thing that I always find is if you have the choice between one $60 game and four $20 or three $20 games or whatever for you and your friends, you will have so much more fun with 4 of them.
And so let's talk about, VR and AR. What would be better for you and your bros, right? to all pick up MetaQuest 3s and do room scale AR experiences together, or to sit and watch movies on your Vision Pro or FaceTime on your Vision Pro. And like, man, you know how we talk a lot, like in writers' meeting, or like when the business team will bring us a pitch for like a sponsored video on like a projector or something like that. We talk a lot about how the marketing for projectors is super disingenuous. Not for the theater ones or the data ones that are intended for installation in a theater room or like a house of worship or a conference room or something like that. Those ones are generally fine. The ones that I find really offensive are the lifestyle ones.
Those ones are so good.
Like, remember that one that looked like a trash can? And they just had it like sitting on a coffee table in the middle of the room projecting onto a wall. And I go, where are the wires? Like, even if you're casting from your phone or whatever, oh, terrible. You're still going to need power for this thing, especially if you're planning to watch, Lord of the Rings extended cut or whatever. Like, even the battery-powered ones, you're still going to need to plug them into power. And this is especially noticeable because a lot of the time these installations are not just it's sitting at the foot of the bed, projecting onto a blank wall. There's a fixed frame projector screen on the wall. Like, this is clearly a permanent installation. It's silly, right? And Apple is marketing the Vision Pro in a really similar, hold on a second, that's not realistic kind of way. Like, this is a device that, by Apple's own admission, only gets a couple of hours of battery life, or maybe more than a couple, but it certainly doesn't have all-day battery. And then they've got this, have you watched any of the Vision materials?
Oh, the one with Mrs. doing her laundry.
Yes, packing for the trip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's just casually wearing her Vision Pro while she's packing for a trip, and she gets a FaceTime call that she takes while she's packing for her trip. And it's like, look, we all spent the last 3 years in, remote work hell. Where, okay, I had a Teams meeting this morning. It took 9 minutes for everyone to get all their audio and video sorted out and to make sure.
That's also a Teams issue, in fairness.
In this case, it wasn't, though.
Oh.
It was just stuff, right? And so I support the idea of just like fast, convenient, easy video.
It's fine.
Video calling, where everyone is just already ready to go and it just immediately works. And if Apple has managed to deliver that experience, well, that's really cool. Here's the power supply screws. But here's the thing, Apple is so ecosystem first that I have very little faith in that. So coming back to my point about how, really it was Alex's point, about how much cooler it is for you and 5 of your buddies to have something where you're all on the same platform, and how the Vision Pro is so expensive that realistically a lot of people are not going to invest into this platform. I have some major concerns about who in my circle is even going to have a Vision Pro, even if I do want to make the investment into it. So who exactly is it that I'm going to be doing anything that couldn't be equally handled by my iPhone with FaceTime or just a phone call? And there's the argument to be made for the expressiveness of face-to-face interactions, but there is no face-to-face interaction. It's an animated version.
Those are weird.
And okay, pretty much everything that we take for granted, technologically speaking, today started out weird. So I'm not even going to get too hung up on that one personally. I don't disagree with you. But I do find it a little unsettling at the moment. But, even if we could get over that, I think Apple has a hugely uphill battle ahead of them in terms of the value of this platform. And I think that the way that they're antagonizing app developers right now is not going to help. App developers are mad. And This is a really interesting point that I saw in the. I was reading an article about Apple's new App Store policies that I thought was actually really well done. I wish I could tell you guys which one it was. Where the devil is my Noctua screwdriver? I can't find it.
I have backup screwdriver in my backpack.
I probably have backup screwdriver too. I'm just really confused right now because it should be here. You know what? I give up. It's probably fine. I'll find it later. Thank you very much. Oh, well, that won't do.
Oh. Dan has a Noctua if you want that.
Oh. Oh, no, I know where it is. I found it. I found it in my mind. I put it back in my tech sack. Awesome. What was I saying? Right, yeah, the way that Apple's antagonizing developers, I think, is going to be a serious problem for them. In this article, they pointed out that Instagram still doesn't have a dedicated app for iPad OS. Apple sells tens of millions of iPads a year. When you compare that to how many Vision Pros they're going to sell, it's a tiny fraction, right? So why, at a time when Apple is actively engaging in malicious compliance around European regulations that are there to benefit app developers, why do they think that anyone is going to want to spend the money to do them a solid and make this a valuable platform? Apple's first-party apps are not going to be enough to justify the Vision Pro. And I will say that now, having not even touched one yet. That is just the case. So I don't know. I think it's, I think basically, if Apple was a different company, they would have called it a developer kit. And this would be, they would not even be trying to launch this as a retail product. I've said that before about the Apple Watch, where the first-gen watch essentially was a developer kit, and that much was very clear after the fact when they basically disowned that thing. Series 0, I think people call it now, because they called the next one Series 1. Like, okay, sure. And like the first-gen iPad was like that too. I think it got a couple iOS's, and then the iPad 2 got like 7. You know, like the first one was just the forgotten child. Absolutely. It's like, hey, yeah, in our culture, firstborn, yeah, you're the lowest tier. Hi, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah, that actually looks a fair bit better.
Yeah.
I think if we could stuff more of this behind the power supply.
We're working on it.
He's working on it. Okay, Dan, why don't you hit me after I do a quick shout out for our sponsor, XSplit. Not everyone has a super cool background that they can use on their streams, but with XSplit's VCam program, that might not be necessary anymore. It'll let you remove, replace, or blur your webcam background during a video call, live stream, or recording, so your audience won't need to be constantly staring at your unkempt bed for hours on end. Or, oh man, did you see that one recently where it was like a very serious political stream, and then this like guy who looks like he just woke up and like chugged like half of a six-pack, just like walks through the frame. Anyway, heck, you can even use the XSplit Connect app on your phone and turn it into a webcam if you're in a pinch. So check it out at the link below and save 69% using code Linus. And at every end of the stream, once again, this is sponsored by XSplit.
Yeah, okay. So we were supposed to do that read like when this computer was working, but that's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, that didn't work.
We got ahead.
That'll work. Yeah, we're ahead. We're ahead on the stream. You'd never know it from how long it was taking. But hey, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about that side panel stand on.
Yeah, we need to move these a bit.
I see. You know what we could do is we could cable tie them down here. You got a cable tie?
I definitely do.
Oh, I do. Nice. All right. How do we want to... You want to go that way? Yeah. I mean, this is not going to be our finest cable management, either of us. But here, if I hold it here, do you want to secure it?
Sure. Wait. Oh, balls.
Dan, hit me.
Sure.
What's it getting secured to?
First, we're just securing them together. I would go the other way so you don't rip up the braiding.
Oh, but then the LTT
Fine.
logo.
Yeah, Alex has it right. Yeah.
So you just want that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Hi, LDA. Tech is obviously getting better and more powerful. Aside from performance, do you feel like we have already hit and passed a golden age of the tech world? Also, ever considered a thumb ratchet?
I've never considered a thumb ratchet. As for the golden age, I think every generation kind of feels like theirs was the golden age, and looks back wistfully at the way that they did things. There's definitely things that I feel like really have golden aged already. Gaming is one of them. I strongly object to all of the gambling that is so prevalent in gaming now. And when I say gaming, I mean, man, it's not even just gaming, right? Like the idea of having constant advertising for gambling on like sports broadcasts and stuff like that would have been unthinkable when I was a kid. And it does feel a little bit like, back when my day, we didn't think you had to gamble on every game and whatever else. But the obsession with in-game cosmetics and gambling on them, I do think is something that is not golden era of gaming compatible for me. But in terms of tech, no, I think it just kind of keeps getting better. And
I don't know. I think gaming's gotten really good because a lot of that was, I feel, more of a problem like 2 years ago, and everyone got mad enough that a lot of the games that came out last year just completely got rid of like microtransactions and
I mean,
stuff.
that's a fair point. You kind of make your own gaming experience these days because you can play any game from any era, and you can choose to only play games from developers like Larian Studios that refuse to embrace that nonsense. And there's so much variety now. I mean, yeah, I think there's a solid argument there. But one thing that I will counter with is the prevalence of developer-only servers compared to privately hosted
that's
servers.
a bad one.
Like, you will never be able to play, in 20 years, when Epic is bored of Fortnite, 20 years is a long time, there's no way. You won't be able to go back and play Fortnite with your friends like you did when you were a kid, and that sucks. That really sucks. I really don't like that. But other than that, I think the litmus test is, think about some kind of tech that you had when you were a kid, or even 5 years ago, 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago. If you could, would you throw away your current solution to that problem and go back to it, right? Would I throw away my Sonos setup and my phone with YouTube music on it and go back to my Discman? No, that would suck. And I'm not talking about people who are very into the experience of vinyl records and who like the artwork and like to collect. I'm not talking about collection. I'm talking about the technology. The technology of vinyl records is not better than the technology of streaming.
Artists might have something to say about that.
Yeah, artists make a lot more money on records and CDs, so artists are biased, but that's a separate conversation. And it's like, I recognize my own biases in all of this. Obviously, streaming has been very good to me. YouTube is a great platform to build a career on, which is something I don't think anyone thought they were ever going to say back when it first launched. But I think by and large, on-demand streaming is a superior experience compared to what I had to do. Like, if I wanted to hear a song again on demand, I had to wait for it to play on the radio, and then I had to go and run, like, this is as a kid, right? Where I didn't have $20 to spend on every CD that came out. So if I wanted to hear a song again, especially if I wasn't that into the artist, I had to wait for it to come on the radio. I had to dash to my tape deck, press record, hope that I had primed it already so that it was on like the next blank spot on the tape. And then if I wanted to listen to it over and over again, and I am that kind of person where I get like kind of hooked on a song, I got really good at like playing the rewind button, knowing about how long I needed to hold it in order to rewind a song or whatever. That was what I had to do. And it's like, would I go back to it? No, of course not. That would be ridiculous compared to, at a moment's notice, being able to conjure up basically any song I could ever want to hear, and being able to load up, a SoundHound or Shazam or whatever people use for that these days, and identify any song that's playing anywhere near me. I mean, Google does it natively now.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, but because remember, you don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to say, okay, well, yeah, I would like to have vinyl records, but I'd also love the convenience of just like having my phone identify a song and immediately download and stream it for me.
Sure you can. I do that every day.
That wasn't the question, though. Would you give up everything you have now to go back to the old way? The answer is absolutely not. Not even close, not even for a moment. But, okay, occasionally, in fact, just the other day, I went through and was re-thumbing through my Final Fantasy VI manual. Physical games. Yeah, that's what makes me kind of appreciate what people are into with the whole record thing. Personally, I'm too efficiency-minded to actually use a physical cartridge. Like, I would emulate a game when I own the console and I own the cartridge. I would just emulate it. I'm sorry, I'm not getting up and going and plugging that thing in. That is just absolutely not happening. It's not my jam. But I get it. I get the collector aspect of it. So I went through my Final Fantasy VI manual because I was giving it to Luke. He's playing it. It's one of my favorite games that he had never played. And so we have a deal where I'm playing Titanfall 2, watching Pirates of Silicon Valley, and watching Hackers, which are some of his most beloved media. And then he has to play Final Fantasy VI. And so I wanted to give him my manual because I know he's super into like physical game boxes and manuals and artwork and stuff like that. And they really were cool. Like the concept art was so much more important back then when the finished game looked absolutely nothing like it. Because you had like, 30 pixels for a sprite or, 50 maybe. So you see this drawing of what Tara Branford is supposed to look like and you're like, oh, that's so cool. I can kind of see it. Anyway, sorry. What can I do for you?
So it's peripherals time, because we're about to turn on the computer.
Yes, we are.
I guess, do you want to just turn on the computer first?
Sure. Yeah. Do we have a monitor in mind?
We do.
Oh, do you have it already? Or, okay, which one?
The gigabyte one.
The gigabyte. Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we need a display port, which...
Yes, we do. No, yes. No, this is HDMI in here.
Yeah.
Dan, do you want to hit us with another merch message while we buy some time?
Oh, one more thing. You should talk about the SSD. Or I can. It was a Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus, 8 terabyte. We chose it because I had already installed Windows on it. And also, there's only 2 M.2 spots on there, so lots of storage.
How'd you end up with such a baller utility drive? 8 terabyte Rocket 4 Plus.
I walked down in the warehouse and picked it up.
Like a $900 drive, but whatever.
$1,500 actually.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, sure. Correct him.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is not necessarily the most elegant system, but if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. Check this out. That right angle goes like that. Okay. Maybe if you had 5 months to build a case, a back panel pass-through with, what would they be? Male to female extenders or something like that embedded in it might be nice because it'd be a little easier to hook up dual monitors that way, but this works. And you could still do dual monitors if you did a right angle one on the one side and a left angle one on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, left angle is a thing, by the way. That's a term. Is there something flying around in here?
What?
I thought I saw something moving out of the corner of my eye.
I think you're just going
maybe
crazy.
There's a bat or a bird that got into the studio. Okay, it doesn't matter. The point is that left angle is a thing that exists. It's the opposite of right angle. Dan, hit me. Or are we ready to?
We're ready to start the system.
I just throw it up. Also, no, that's not a thing, by the way.
Here we go. And naturally, there's no RGB pretty much whatsoever because this is a classy build.
Except
Not
for the
classy
RAM.
with an I. It's going to be a little bit on the motherboard, I guess. Oh, hey, where's our side panels at?
Oh.
Do not
here.
drop. Do not drop. Don't do it.
Man, every time we do one of these streams,
Oh, God.
We should do these more often. These are fun. And then every time, it's 2 or 3 months before we do another one. I don't know why that is. Why does that keep happening? Hey, it boots though. Fantastic. 14700K, all 32 gigs of RAM, running at a measly DDR5 4000. Yuck, we're going to fix that. And new CPU installed. Awesome. Okay, Dan, go ahead and hit me.
Oh, where did our
I actually
thingy
am
go?
not sure that I have any more. I think we've gotten through all of them.
Okay.
Let
Just
me
hang
see.
in the chat and,
I've got one here from Jawa Juice.
Sure.
They say
What's
T. It's just a
wanna take it
lowercase t.
Take what off?
That's it.
Yes.
The panel.
That's all they.
Oh,
That's all
sure.
they said.
Okay, sorry, I'm listening, Dan.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Anybody else got any last minute questions here for us?
Yeah, hit us up, guys. Those fans are plugged into the power supply directly, or are they plugged into some kind of fan control?
They're plugged into the CPU header.
Oh, that's odd.
I also turned off CPU fan detection because it was annoying me earlier because it wasn't plugged into there.
Okay, so we can fix that.
Yeah, we can fix it.
Okay. Do you want me to do that while you talk through these peripherals that you're so cagey about?
No,
Okay.
we can just finish this.
Okay. Sure. It's not quite in place. There it is. Okay, good. No, oh!
Jeez.
No, I got this. It's all good. It's all good. It's infectious.
I guess any NAS software updates? Probably nothing yet.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Actually, yes,
Uh-oh.
but no. But yes. The update is that I will hopefully have an update for you in the form of screenshots in the coming probably month or so. And I've talked to them about it. I basically said, okay, look, the people on WAN Show are asking about this. They're really curious about what you guys are doing. When's the soonest we can show them something? And they were of the mind that it might be better to wait until we have a functional demo. Like, not demo even, like almost like a pre-alpha where it kind of works and we'd be able to go through the setup wizard and everything ourselves. And I basically was like, okay, but that's probably going to take a long time. Can we do anything a little earlier? And they said, okay, well, we can at least show people what the design is going to look like. And I was pretty into that. Okay, I still don't have peripherals though. Coming back to the actual task at hand here.
Alex, what cars are you looking forward to this year? Anything?
Let me think. Oh, there's the new Porsches that are electric. Those are probably fun.
Oh, the Macan EV?
Yes,
Or
but
different ones.
there's also the. Is there a Cayenne or not a Cayenne? A Cayman electric maybe.
Is there? I don't think that's coming this
know.
year.
Oh.
I think that's later. But what is probably also coming this year is, or either this year or next year, is a Taycan Turbo GT, which is supposed to be
Oh yes.
stupid.
New Nürburgring record.
2
holder.
seconds behind the Navara. And I think it's like 10 seconds faster than the Plaid or something like that. Like, whew, she's spicy. She's spicy.
Ionic 5, apparently?
Oh yeah, Ionic 5N.
That's right.
Seems cool.
Honestly, the ones that I am simultaneously most excited about but also most disappointed in are some of the really cool stuff from the Chinese brands.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
which one is it? It's not BYD, it's
Neo.
Neo that
Yeah.
makes that like hypercar gullwing looking one that someone has an early impressions video up now of, and they were kind of disappointed, which is unfortunate for a car that's 150,000 US dollars. But then the specs, like the on-paper specs, are mind-boggling. So I just want to try it. I would never buy it, but I'm super curious. Anyway, tell me about this. Why do we have this? This looks like it came from the tech shop.
It came from MIBC. So someone actually had a return for a water bottle, and they sent this back. Do you want to just read it? It was addressed to me, but you can give it a read.
MIBC is our distribution warehouse, like our third-party logistics warehouse for LTT Store. So they sent this with their water bottle return.
Yes.
For Alex, viewer alleged worst typing experience ever. Useful for a YouTube short or a Floatplane exclusive for Alex Reacts 2 for comedic value. ×1 take on phone camera, quick and dirty, not worth more than that. Also could be used as a Linus penalty gimmick in a video. I estimate the value at $0 because nobody is going to want to use this. No, I did not do that to the USB cable. Your guess is as good as mine. Okay. Enjoy the Linus proof packaging. All shipping material has been used at least once before. Please keep reusing it to keep it out of the landfill. Love it. Okay, so I guess I'm being punished for some reason. I don't think I did anything wrong today. And I did let the stream go a little bit over time, I think. Vance is hovering now, waiting for me to be done.
Yeah, it's just about 3 o'clock. Is that okay?
I don't know.
Is that a joke?
Yes.
Is it 3
Okay,
o'clock?
good.
It is actually a joke.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay. I mean, that's kind of neat, right?
Yeah.
It folds, which is a thing that it does. It locks. Matthias was one of those brands that one of our people at NCIX was like, yeah, these guys do great. And I'm like, that's just a normal ass mechanical keyboard. What's special about this thing? It's for Mac. I'm like, what does that even mean? Anyway, this is a folding keyboard. It doesn't seem to really lock in position particularly well. There's a little spring-loaded thing here that seems to be designed to keep it there, but it does an okay job as long as it stays flat on the table. Okay. Oh, that doesn't seem to be. Oh. Yeah, that is confusing. Somebody folded this cable and then put heat shrink on it. I couldn't even begin to explain why they might have done that. Cool. Okay, what are my other peripherals and why? Why are we doing this?
Oh, I just thought it was funny.
Oh, I see.
I do have other keyboards if you want something.
No, I insist on gaming on it now.
The thing that really got me is just how much hair there is in it. And you didn't comment on that, which I found surprising. Maybe you just didn't notice, but...
What are
Candy,
these
do you want to get a bit of a
mice?
close-up here? Yeah. That's...
Yeah, that's gross. Okay, you brought the bamboo wireless mouse
Yeah.
from the all-wood PC,
Yep.
but then you also brought something really good.
Yeah.
Which one do you want? Are we
one
going
do you
bamboo?
want? We can go bamboo, but also it's like kind of terrible, so I kind of just want to use the pulsar instead.
I'm going bamboo.
All right.
Maybe I'll just do the opposite of what Alex wants for the rest of this stream. That's my punishment back at him for giving me this keyboard. Okay, what else we got? I don't think I need audio peripherals.
Really would hate a raise. That would suck.
I guess I kind of walked into that one. The good news is I am not in charge of that anymore. All right, so are we just going to go for it? XMP enabled and see what happens?
Sure.
Okay. I'm a little confused by this. It shows up as DDR5 4000 here and then 5600 here, but that's cool.
And the speed is 5500 there.
Okay, and it goes to 7200 if we enable XMP. Let's just see if it just immediately works. What are our odds here? I'm going with 1 in 10. You're not gonna guess what our odds are?
I've already tested it, so I know the answer.
Oh, well, that's no fun.
Linus has a history of putting things together that have been tested and then they don't work anymore. Look, he knows I'm right.
That actually happened very recently with the what was the PC that we just built that didn't post and then it did. No, it wasn't Threadripper.
There was an AMD thing that you didn't wait long enough for it to post because it takes like 3 minutes to do the RAM train.
Was that?
Was that it?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't remember.
There was definitely a recent one. I think Elijah was involved.
Oh, that
don't-
makes sense.
I don't know anymore. Oh, so it just immediately worked.
Apparently.
Wow. Is that what you were expecting?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, well that's amazing.
Do we have other XMP profiles if we want?
Can I please quiet these fans? Good gravy, that's annoying. How sure are you that you're plugged into the CPU header and not the pump header? Because that should not be that loud. Any dice? Come on, buddy. Are these 4-pin fans plugged into a 3-pin extension by any chance?
No, it's a 4-pin extension.
Okay, well, we're going full loud then, because we're already booted into Windows. All right, Dan, you got any other comments?
Yeah, sure. I think I got one last curated one here. Hey, Linus and Alex, if you had to pick a piece of software and would get to force the developer to add one feature, what software or feature would you pick?
Apple and sideloading.
Oh, that's a good one.
Got him.
Can I choose Valheim and the game just getting the updates?
Oh, salt. I love it.
Ouch.
Oof.
By the way, speaking of ouch, this is quite possibly the worst keyboard I've ever typed on.
Yeah,
Did you try it before
I
the
did,
stream?
yes. It's really bad.
It has, I would say individually, no key is the worst that I've ever touched, but it has by far the least consistency out of any keyboard I have ever touched. Listen to this, my friends. Okay, can you hear that, guys?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So when you're typing, you have no idea how hard to press because any key could be any force requirement.
Could you move it up just a little?
I can move it. Okay, so let's get hardware info up here. Going hard then. GPU temperatures, let's throw up our CPU temperatures. Oh man, this is not gonna struggle. It's like 29 degrees right now or something stupid like that. Okay, GPUs, yeah, good. And Doom Eternal, I guess is the game we have.
We have many games, but we do have Doom Eternal as well.
Incompatible
Oh, we need
driver.
to update the NVIDIA drivers.
Oh no.
Jawa
this-
Juice has suggested that the typing inconsistency might be the hair.
Well, I'm not gonna try and get it out because the only tool I have on hand is my tongue.
You know you want
There's
to.
actually there's not any hair over on this side, so I actually
Yeah.
don't think so. No, it's just a really, truly awful keyboard. I don't have internet.
Oh yeah, that's good. Oh wait, we don't even need it.
We don't?
I downloaded the drivers yesterday, and then because the card wasn't released, NVIDIA got mad at me.
Oh, really?
No, not actually. Like the drivers were just like unsupported card.
Oh, got it.
And I could have gone to Gary and got the ones that NVIDIA sent us, but
I'm gonna hang out with Dan while we wait. Hi,
Sure.
Dan.
Hi, how are you
How's
doing?
it going? How's chat doing?
Yeah, chat's doing well. They want you to lick it. Yum. Mlem. Linus tongue tool.
I am not going to lick the keyboard. See this?
Elijah says you should.
You got. What is Elijah? even
Elijah,
doing
okay,
watching
now
streams
you
right
have to.
now?
He's been chatting the whole time. He's waiting for you, apparently. I think you're going to do something after this.
Lunch after this is what I have after
Yeah.
this, Elijah.
Yeah.
You guys wonder why we talk to the merch message people. This is what
Am I
happens.
the merch message?
This
Yeah.
is what happens when we talk to general chat.
You should. Twitch is just.
Oh no, that can't. No, yeah, no. See the quality of interaction goes merch messages, flow plane chat, Twitch chat, and then somewhere below the floor would be YouTube chat for these live streams. It's like a law of the universe.
Lick the chat. One does not speak of Twitch.
All right, never mind. I'm gonna come hang out with Alex.
I think you picked well.
I take that.
Don't come back over here.
okay, yeah, that's what
NVIDIA installer cannot continue.
we need to get the new ones.
Oh, good. Yeah, but the card's publicly released now. It should be.
Yeah, it's available now.
Okay, cool. We have fast internet. That is
Yeah.
now done. You know what? Why don't I monitor chat myself and see if Dan's just curating the very worst? I wouldn't put it past him.
No, this you read it yourself.
I will. I'm going to read it myself. Dan, this is full of quality interactions. Linus, if you and Alex had to debate the best approach to passively cooling an RTX 4090, what would it be? Because we saw that come up on Reddit recently, where someone is trying to passively cool a 3090, I think, or a 3080 or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, with a giant hunk of copper that has a bunch of CPU heat sinks strapped to it. And Alex and I were discussing that because I don't know as much about this as he does, but I think I know enough to know that won't
That's
work.
not a good plan, no.
Because copper, even though we think of it as being extremely conductive, both electrically and thermally, is not that conductive compared to if we take that thermal energy and we put it in some liquid, evaporate it, have it go somewhere, and then condense, and then run back. Like, that moves heat real fast. So you had some thoughts about how we could actually take that project idea and turn it into a reality, right? I want to hear them.
I think it was vapor chamber with heat pipes on top.
How on earth would we get a vapor chamber that big?
Oh, you don't need to. The vapor chamber only needs to be like this big, and then you just heat pipe the other stuff.
Oh, I see.
But the heat pipes are also just so you don't dry out the vapor chamber, which is like a pretty big problem.
Right, and so by dry out the vapor chamber, you mean that so much heat is going into it that can't be moved and dissipated that it just is all evaporated.
Yeah, and also vapor chambers can do weird things where one area can get really hot and not get cooled while the rest sort of stays cool.
I see.
It's weird. Anyway.
I made that up. That was not a message in the chat.
Oh.
They were memeing about licking things. I just was teasing Dan.
I told you.
Wait, what?
I told you.
Did the system
Did
crash?
just reboot? What, did something just happen while we were talking about vapor chambers?
It crashed during the driver install, which is like a really bad time for. Yeah, it's not happy at all.
Uh-oh.
So you know how I said that I tested the RAM before? It was like not perfect. It kind of acted a little bit strange.
It absolutely crashed during the driver install.
Okay. You know what? It's pretty. It's not the fault of the case. Let's just have a look at the cool case.
The RAM's mad. Oh, jeez.
You can get a close-up?
Do we have a system? We don't.
Here, Andy, come look at the pretty computer.
Oh, it's very unhappy. All right, we're going into BIOS.
Dang it,
here.
Alex.
Oh.
All right. There it is. Finished computer. I actually really like the look of the back of it. These 3D printed grills ended up looking kind of awesome. And as much as I kind of want to meme on the RTX 4080 Super for being still really expensive and not really being that super compared to the regular 4080, the new all black paint job really does look kind of awesome.
So the fan says it's spinning at 600 RPM right now.
Which one? This one?
Which I think the bottom one is and the top one isn't.
That top one is going. That's like at least 2,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Maybe 3,000. I'm not sure which fans these are. That's fine. Realistically, I don't think it really matters, Alex.
Okay.
What are you setting the RAM to?
I'm seeing if we have any options. We do.
Oh, how many different XMP profiles does it have?
Oh man, one of the frequencies we can choose is 7,800 megahertz.
Oh, good.
I'm sure that would work right great.
To be clear, we're not blaming the RAM for this.
Yeah.
It's very possible, that's somewhere between possible and probable, that it is validated for 7,800. The issue is that you have to have a CPU that has a strong enough integrated memory controller that it can handle these speeds. Anything above JDEC is technically overclocking, and anything above what Intel and AMD recommend in their literature is definitely overclocking. What did you settle on?
I went for 7,000.
Really?
It was like pretty close before.
All right.
And that still is like, it's a nice number.
Sure. Transit Biker wants us to swap the RAM the RAM sticks between the two slots. That shouldn't matter. If you've had success with that in the past, I would say it's more likely that it was simply reseating the memory that made the difference. Selmore says, if that doesn't work, try 6,900 megahertz.
Yeah,
Thank you, that's
I
very
definitely
helpful.
should have just gone to that.
The real Bamse doesn't want us to finish without a working PC. Like, okay.
Yeah, we're not going to.
Personally, I don't think it really matters. We only intended for it to be pretty and made of wood. I don't think that anyone actually cares what the performance is. The performance is what a 4080 and Core i7 14th gen is, but no, okay, people disagree. Okay, they want a working computer. No,
Yeah, we need a working. Well, Windows is not happy.
no Top Gear 1224. I will not be upgrading to the Taycan GT. That would be a spectacularly wasteful upgrade. It's already more car than I pretty much know what to do with.
Get a manual.
What now?
What was that
no, that's
other
okay.
one?
See advanced repair. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just continue. Yeah. It'll be fine.
I don't know.
Yeah, it might be borked.
Yeah, the NVIDIA drivers are really, really unhappy.
Bad memory is a really easy way to brick Windows install.
Come on.
How many instances of Crisis can it run simultaneously? Right now, 0.
Okay, so yeah, it's we got further than last time. We have a
Nice.
spinny ball that's, yeah, it crashed.
Any plans to visit the Hetzner data centers in Europe? Not at the moment. I actually don't have any plans to travel to Europe. Taco asks if there's an update on the badminton center branding. Yes. Ooh. Let me see if I can find it. I might be able to find that for you guys.
I'm turning off XMP for now,
Okay.
and then we're gonna try and go into like safe mode.
Oh my goodness. That's fine. I'll try and run interference for you. Badminton operations. Okay, I think I'm shared on a folder for all the stuff to do with Smash Champs, but I don't know what it is. I can't find anything in Google Drives these days. In Google Drive these days.
I've been having that problem too.
It's been extremely frustrating. Smash Champs. Okay, yeah, here's a folder. Maybe it's in here. Partnerships, NAT chart, decisions confirmation, drop in and whatever. We're doing work. I assure you, we're doing work. I just don't know where any of it is because it's not really me who's handling it day to day. Oh, I've got something. Okay. Personal lead done waiver, biz proposal. I think this is it.
We just blue screened, FYI.
Oh no. Dang it. Well, okay, here's the first deck that Sarah put together, just kind of asking for some guidance. Do you want something that's more bold? Do you want something that's more, sporty, or something more fun and trendy? But we have new progress since then. Let me see. I'll see if he's here.
Dan, do you have any good ideas of what to do here to get the NVIDIA drivers happy
What seems to be going on?
So the computer crashed while we were doing an NVIDIA driver update,
Okay.
and now the drivers are completely borked.
You'll have to use like a DDU, I guess. Rip them out in safe mode.
Yeah.
Safe mode with networking DDU, and then install them that way. Oh, let me get your mic back on. There you go.
Oh, advanced options. Troubleshoot. How do I get into stupid
Oh God,
safe
I
mode
hate
from
it.
here?
You need to go like advanced startup or something like that.
Is it that? No, never mind.
Nope.
I forget. It used to be
Yeah.
so easy. Oh yeah,
Advanced options.
Advanced options. Yeah, this is where I was.
Yeah. And
Startup settings.
Then, and then
there we
go
go.
that. Make sure. Yeah. So hit next, and then it'll reboot, and then you'll need to go into
Yeah.
safe mode with networking, get DDU on it, and then nuke them.
Let's see. Man, it was amazing to me how many people's comments on that video were just like, badminton is a thing? I was like, yes. There were some really good suggestions, though. A lot of people brought up pickleball. Pickleball is like, I think, the fastest growing sport in the US right now or something like that. It's crazy fun. If you guys haven't tried it before, it's an absolute blast. I've only played a couple of times, but I jumped right in and was like, having an amazing time. It's actually legitimately really fun, and it doesn't have nearly the same cardio requirements as a sport like tennis or one like badminton. So pretty much anyone can get into pickleball, which is one of the reasons that it's getting so popular, because seniors are playing a lot of pickleball. So super cool. Yes, that's a very good idea, and yes, that is something that we are planning on offering. So particularly in the mornings, we were thinking it'd be cool to have one side segmented off for pickleball and then the other side for badminton. The court lines are almost identical, and we have confirmed that the flooring material we're using, which is going to be a rubber anti-shock layer, 2 plywood layers, and then a synthetic sport floor layer over top. It behaves quite well with the wiffle ball that they use for pickleball. So there's only one difference in the lines. The line for the kitchen, which is, you could think of it kind of like a crease. So the line for the kitchen, which is like a keep out zone really close to the net to keep you from just standing right at the net and just whacking things down, is I think about 6 inches closer than, or farther from the badminton service line. So we were kind of just thinking, I don't know, if pickleball people care that much, they can bring a piece of masking tape and put it down while they play, or if they don't care that much, then neither do we, and they can just have a slightly different sized kitchen. But other than that, the facility will be compatible, and we're going to try and come up with a way to quickly and easily move our nets up and down. That's another compromise. They'll be badminton nets, probably, because pickleball nets are more like tennis nets. They use a braided steel cable for the top, and they're quite a heavier duty net. But realistically, it's a wiffle ball. People aren't hitting it that hard. If you have a badminton net, it's probably fine. It just means that in instances where it hits the top of the net, it hits the tape, and it kind of rolls over, it'd be a little easier for that to happen with a badminton style net. So there could be some purists who would prefer to play pickleball somewhere else. But yeah, I know that it's not really that big of a thing in North America, but badminton is huge outside of North America, and it's a really great sport. It's really fun. Is he going to send me that document or that link? Hey, Vance, can you please check with Jaquan when and how he's going to send that? Because I need it like right now. Maybe he didn't understand I meant so that I could show people on stream right this second. What style of nets are you using? They're going to be just the really heavy bases. We've already sourced them from Victor. Do you plan on bringing Beat Saber streams back? Yes, I just have been really busy. I have not had time. I do plan to do them some more.
Dan has a question.
Yes, Dan.
How are we going to protect the floor for the LAN parties?
We aren't.
Okay.
So that was the reason that we ultimately, or I shouldn't say the reason, that was a major reason that we ultimately went with a synthetic sport floor rather than a hardwood floor. If it was hardwood and someone, I don't know, someone's roller chair had a wheel fall off and they put a big gouge in it, I would be so sad. So sad. Whereas with a synthetic sport floor, they're pretty robust. This is the same kind of thing that typically gets used in like an elementary school gym. And in fact, the very product that we're using, I went to an elementary school to see it installed. It had been there for, I think, about 8 or 9 years.
Grab a chair, drive it across.
Daily use.
Yeah.
Had the crap kicked out of it, because not only did they use it all day for school, but they rented out the gym for events at night, and just,
Yeah.
it looked great.
Makes a lot of sense.
Great. And they will often, whether it's for a Christmas concert or whatever else, often drag chairs and tables and stuff out onto it.
Yeah, nobody's going to care, right?
So we are definitely going to want to be cognizant of that. Our chairs and our tables, we're going to want those caps for the bottoms of them, so that we're not just beating it up for no reason at all.
And we'll have control about chairs coming into the building and things like that, right?
But if you guys were looking at me going, well, sir, are we going to be able to do chair curling? My answer is, would it be a LAN party without chair curling?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
There were a lot of different options that we considered, and we ended up with this because it worked for badminton, pickleball, and LAN parties. Woo! Wasn't cheap, but it was versatile. So this is really messed up.
Yeah. I booted into Windows safe mode.
Check
with
this out,
networking.
Andy. Look at this.
Yeah.
What is ASUS system product name?
Yeah. But I got DDU through my laptop on a USB drive. We have it now. Hopefully, when this restarts, it comes back and it like is a system.
Cool. In the meantime, we can do some more Q&A. This is fun.
So when should he send you on Teams?
Oh, send to me on Teams. Oh, I don't have Teams open because I'm streaming. Well, there's your problem right there, Linus. All right. Into taskbar. That makes sense. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Time to sign into things. Man, Andy, do you mind going a different direction while I type my password? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Oh, we have a computer again.
Hey, look at that, a desktop wallpaper.
There's no networking.
Minor issue.
Maybe it'll figure itself out.
Okay. Okay, so there's a handful of options. I'll show you his personal. I won't say favorite. I don't think it's necessarily his favorite. So, okay, if you're in the local badminton community, you might know Jonathan Kwan. He's going to be working at Smash Champs. So he's been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff in the lead-up to launch. He's a super passionate guy. Can't say enough good things. Yeah. Hi, Jay Kwan, if you're watching this. Anyway, so he actually has a background in graphic design and has been working on some logos and stuff in addition to just some of the more operational things for us. And this one was one that he thought was really cool because it kind of merged badminton and the kind of bold look that we had said we wanted from the previous deck and technology, because it has like a QR code that could go straight to our pro shop or to booking our website. So if we were to put our logo on things like water bottles and t-shirts, anyone could just be wearing the logo and someone could be like, oh yeah, Smash Champs, where's that? Oh, I don't know, just scan my shirt with your code. And I was like, that's really cool in a 2009, 2010, 11 kind of way, but why don't we go with something that's a little bit more kind of straight and to the point? So here's another option that I really liked, thought was really cool. And then the one that is probably closest to what we're going to settle on is this one. So nothing too far outside the box or anything like that, but pretty clean, kind of. Yeah, I think we're probably going to move the Meteor style shuttle up here, make these speed lines a little bit shorter so that it fits more tidily into a square or a rectangle, like logos do. But that's kind of pretty close to what we're headed towards. Yeah. Really excited about it. A lot of people have asked why. Am I not allowed to just think a sport is really cool and be passionate about it and, want there to be a place for people to play, and dang it, anywhere other than Richmond where all the clubs are. There's a couple in Port Coquitlam, but other than that, there's pretty much nothing outside of Richmond. And it's been a big frustration for people in our community because the community centers here have run only a couple sessions a week. They fill up like that. Like, seriously, if you are not on the phone with the number already dialed, ready to press go, or if you're on the website with everything filled out, ready to press submit, you won't get a spot. And it sucks. So we'll have an actual dedicated facility now.
Where the heck?
We're not opening a gymnastics gym, Elijah. Thanks for the update. Secret Labs put NFC tags on the chairs. Could add that to merch. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, people are talking about live music in the chat. Alex is working on Ethernet drivers.
We could just game over Wi-Fi. That's really bad.
Sure. I have antennas.
Oh yeah, we can install the antennas. Then it would be Wi-Fi that's kind of good.
At least there's supposed to be a bin of antennas here.
Oh, I thought you meant in the motherboard box.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense too. That's also an option. I wouldn't have thought of it, but it's good. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah. So this computer was pretty unhappy. Oh. Oh no. Maybe.
I love how this went from build a computer stream to troubleshooting stream. Well, actually,
that's how it always goes.
First it went to shoot the breeze stream. Then it went to troubleshooting stream.
And there was briefly install a radiator for 40 minutes or whatever stream. All right.
Oh, man.
Do you want a game on it?
I would love to.
And wrap this thing up. Show the people. Actually, first.
Tie a nice little bow on it.
Or do we go and enable XMP again?
Nope.
Nope.
Not even a little.
It lost its privileges.
Yep.
All right, we've got hardware info.
Yeah, how's our cooling
Got
going?
Cinebench.
Probably pretty solid. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a 280 mil radiator.
It's gonna hit 100 degrees, but that's just because it's Intel.
Gotta love it.
Let's see, yeah,
94,
CPU package,
96.
96, yep.
And heaven forbid the water heated up a little bit. You can actually see it right on the cooler, Andy. 99. It's a good number, strong number.
But it still is drawing 300 watts, so like the cooler's doing its job.
What that means is that we could experience some thermal slowdown if we had our GPU running full tilt, because it would be drawing hot air into the radiator, which would heat our liquid, which would mean that if we're hitting 100 degrees now, then it would want to hit 105 or 110 degrees if the coolant were 5 or 10 degrees warmer. That's going to cost us some power, but for gaming, unlikely to make a difference.
Also, 32,000 in Cinebench is pretty darn good. So I think we can say that CPU's working. Oh, sorry, Andy.
Yeah, and he missed it. That's
Oh.
okay. All right, what do we want to play?
We can play whatever you want.
Let's go with Halo Infinite. If I can win with this mouse, I can win with anything. Oh yeah, the keyboard too. Oh gosh, this keyboard.
What?
Oh, wait, what?
Oh, we still need to install the NVIDIA drivers.
Oh,
I forgot about that. I was
Oh.
just really happy that it was like working.
is it this one?
Yeah.
Nice. And hopefully, it won't crash again. That would be a plus. Oh man, normally this stuff happens behind the scenes. You gotta love it.
There's one thing that I like. It's unstable RAM.
I don't understand why it's struggling with heat so much. Ventilation looks like it should be good, question mark from Alexander. It's not struggling with heat. Well, it is struggling with heat, but not in the way that you might think. It has nothing to do with the ventilation of the case. This case is doing a great job of having almost a completely open back and then almost a completely open front that it can draw air across the entire system and then exhaust it out the front. The problem is that Intel's current approach to CPU design has them building these monolithic dies that have these super dense cores in them. So the actual area, so even though the CPU is this big, the die is only like, I don't know, about this big. And then the actual compute on the die is like some subset of it, because the rest of it is connectivity or the GPU, the memory controller, all that sort of thing. So most of the heat, most of the power comes from those transistors that are computing. Well, it's all coming out of this tiny little area. And like we were saying earlier, copper is only so conductive. It's actually not that conductive. So what we're trying to do with a liquid cooler...
Did it just crash again while doing the drivers?
I'm not sure. Maybe. So what we're trying to do with a liquid cooler is we've got a copper plate that's sitting over top of that that's pretty conductive and allowing that heat to come off of those cores and then into the coolant, where it gets cycled out to the radiator, and the heat is dispersed to the surrounding air, and then presumably is a little bit cooler when it gets brought back to the CPU.
Dear.
But there's a bottleneck there, as that heat has to pass through the integrated heat spreader on the CPU, as it has to pass through the copper base, as it then has to pass from the copper to the water. There's inefficiencies there. You can only move that heat so fast. So that's why you can have an epic server CPU that draws 400 watts and runs at like 55 degrees, because it's huge. And the cores are all over the place. There's so much more area to pull that heat away from the CPU through, whereas this thing, it's like this big. And all that heat is concentrated there. So if you could take if you could put, theoretically, if you could put liquid nitrogen in a syringe and just fits it at that spot, that would actually work a lot better than trying to use, ambient cooled liquid with a copper plate in between. But this is what we have. This is reality. So Intel either needs to move towards like a tiled CPU design that's less dense, or they're going to have to get their power consumption of their transistors down.
I have a new theory.
Yes.
How good do you think that riser is?
Oh.
And is it Gen 4 good? Because my guess is that's probably why it crashed.
All right. Yeah. Let's go Gen 3.
Yeah,
that makes
I
sense.
just can't
GPU
find it.
driver. Oh, it's under. I think it's just miscellaneous.
I was already in miscellaneous.
Yeah.
this
Platform
one.
MISC configuration, and then
You just have to go down a bunch. Like, I feel like it should be in here. Yeah.
okay, it was definitely in miscellaneous on the board that's in my system, because I just had to change this in the NCIX PC.
Yeah, in mine it was like, or the last one that I used, it was down here somewhere.
Try PCI subsystem.
No, that's like above 4G.
No, okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Du-du-du.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're just gonna go into all of them.
He's a smart boy. Is there a search? I don't remember a time when I've checked. What about APM? What's APM?
I don't know. Onboard devices would seem like one that I know.
Oh, it could be like a PCH thing. Try PCH and System Agent up at the top. PCI Express. Hey, there you go.
Ooh, no.
Really? Only the M.2 ones are configurable there? Oh, okay, that kind of makes sense, because those would be the ones that are connected through the I/O hub. Okay. Well, sorry, Alex.
Where the heck is it?
We're just going to have to find the setting we're looking for in the BIOS.
Like, it makes no sense that it would be in any of these, but I just kind of have to check them at this point.
Yeah, PCI subsystem settings.
yeah.
That's where I would want to look for it.
Yeah.
It's not in CPU configuration, right? Because technically those lanes are running off the CPU, so...
Wouldn't be in here, but...
No, I don't know.
Yeah. It wouldn't be an AI tweaker. Like, would
I
make
don't
no
think
sense.
so.
Yeah.
It's got to be in advanced somewhere. Let's see, chat's probably shrieking
Yeah.
at us. No, it seems people mostly just agree that it's really stupid that this is not that hard to find. Linus was like, why don't we do these more often? LMAO, 4 hours later. They said it should be where bifurcation is, but I didn't see it there.
Yeah. Because that was in PCH. That was in here.
PCI Express configuration is just grayed out.
M.2 link speed we can change.
Well, that's a downer.
Yeah, so it seems like it is actually just right here. But it's grayed out, which is kind of concerning.
Huh. Neat.
Very neat.
Can I just drive for fun for a sec?
Sure, yeah. You can do whatever you want. I will happily not use that keyboard.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. Okay, so let's look at AI Tweaker, just in case. You know, Tweaker's Paradise sometimes has weird stuff. Yeah, it's definitely weird stuff in there, but I don't see anything related to that. It shouldn't be here. It should just be in platform, miscellaneous, configuration, or something up here. Okay. System agent, PC. Yeah, no, it shouldn't be any of this. It should be where we were looking. Here we go.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So what was that under?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just started methodically going down everything and opening every menu until I found it. Like, honestly, it's the most practical way to deal with this these days because, you know, in my mind, PCIe would be under like CPU configuration or PCI subsystem.
Yeah.
Like that's in my logic, that's where I would put something like that. But no, I don't know. It's wherever that was. That's how I BIOS. Yeah, exactly. Clip it, Twitch chat, so we'll all know where it is from now on. All right, let's try and install this bloody driver.
I would also say let's just re-download the drivers in case it just corrupted when it...
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
Oh, in fact...
Oh, it's just working.
In fact, it managed to install before it crashed. Well, that's exciting. I think we're about to game, folks. You know, in some ways, I think this is some of the most valuable content we do, though, because it gives people that look behind the curtain at the troubleshooting, so they don't feel bad when they go through the same thing with their system.
Oh yeah, it doesn't get easy. Like nothing we do works ever.
Yeah. Like everyone has problems, guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, honestly, I think the most valuable things that labs could do in the longer term is put together, like, you know how we did that video benchmarking different communities, like PC choices? So we did PC Part Picker, r/ Build a PC for Me, LTT Forum. Did we do one more? I think it was just the 3.
Reddit?
Yeah, I got Reddit.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was just the 3. Anyway, the point is that was really cool, but the problem with those things is that person who's recommending that has not actually plugged that thing onto that thing in many cases. And so what I think would be really cool with labs is if we could have like really curated, like hand validated parts lists for people, where Lucas goes through and tests 200 power supplies, and it's like, yeah, these 10 are great. By the way, we hand validated these 2, so that you've got like an A/B option when you're shopping in case this one's out of stock or this one's on a bad deal right now or whatever the case may be. I think that would be really cool. Let's pie in the sky, long-term thinking. But that's my job now. Sorry. Say hi to Electro Boom. He's in the chat. Hey, what's up, Medi? And his computer's even powerful enough to process the chat now. Did you see that video?
Oh yeah, that thing was not a good-looking computer.
That goo that was coming out of his screen, that's not fake. That was not goo that he got on his screen.
It was coming from the screen.
That was oozing out of his screen.
What even could that be?
I don't know, because the screen worked. Essence goo? I don't know. I have no explanation for it, but it was nearly impossible to clean from my hands. I probably poisoned myself from touching that goo.
Oh, do we have frame view?
Was the liquid crystal?
Xbox.
That's okay, I have it memorized. Just if you don't mind looking away, Andy. We'll just take a second. Oh my god, I can't type on this keyboard. Oh,
it's actually
wow.
a problem.
Oh, wow. The O just randomly activated when I pressed Shift-at. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. This thing is garbage. It is e-waste. Wow. Dan, do you have any more merch messages or anything else from the chat that you've been having a look at?
Not really. I mean, somebody asked if there was ever going to be a music production PC. What else? A lot of people have been talking about some other things too.
Yeah, we
it's
wanted
the
to do
liquid crystal a part of the LCD? I don't know.
Okay, Microsoft might defeat me here. I don't know if you guys watched that short circuit recently where we ended up in a sign-in loop where it would say, we'd say sign in with a different account, and it would bring us right back to the same account. We'd say sign in with a different account, it would bring us.
Oh! So if you sign in, and when it does this again, you just like Alt F4, then maybe it'll work the second time.
It's okay, I got it.
Oh, it worked.
Code. This is best practices. If I'm going to preach it, I have to live it, but I hate it so much.
Oh, Telebug on Twitch. I'm sorry I was reading there.
Yeah, I know, right?
Our Dell E4750 laptops at work do the same thing with the leaking goo.
Okay.
Mine hasn't started leaking goo. What is the goo? I'm scared of this now. I didn't know there was goo in our electronics. That's gross. Pull it out. I know that they're made of magic smoke, like that's how they function, but otherwise
Yeah, is
I
it
don't know.
liquid smoke?
Liquid smoke. That sounds kind of nice.
That seems like a
And
possibility.
I want brisket.
All right, got my bronze ranking. Let's go. I have no idea what my actual MMR is, but I've got my bronze rank. All right, what else you guys got here? Microplastic jelly sandwich.
PB and LCD jelly. I love it.
I would not lick that jelly. There's absolutely no way.
Isn't the G in GPU for goo?
And he wants the computer closer.
Oh, yeah,
So
sure.
you can see that on the screen at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't it pretty?
It's really pretty.
Man, if there's one thing I could change about Halo Infinite, it would be the time between deciding, I'd like to play some Halo Infinite, and actually firing a weapon. The initial loading for this, okay, so first you have to sign into your Microsoft nonsense if it's been a little while, which happens to me sometimes. I don't have a ton of time for gaming. Then you've got to wait 1,000 metric years for that loading bar, which is like, I don't know, what exactly is it doing? Is it processing shaders every bloody time I launch the? I don't know. Then you have to go through, like, you guys probably saw that there was 4 or 5 screens of some stupid item or skin or season. I don't care about any of that you have to get rid of. Then you've got to wait around for the queue. Then you've got to wait around for all the other players to load because you're a baller and you have an SSD and a fast computer. Then you've got to wait around for it to cinematically show you the map. I don't know, because sure, I guess this is going to help me find my way around. Then you've got to wait around for every jackass on your team to flex the skins they spent way too much on and try to make you jealous or something, so you'll spend more stupid money. Then you finally get to play the game. Also, this is taking way longer than it normally does.
So
I think it's borked.
me and my friends have not played this in like a year because the last 3 times that we tried to, we just couldn't get into a game.
Oh yeah, don't forget the struggle of actually managing to get into the same fire team with your friends.
Yeah, and so then we
There
just
we go.
decide we're never going to play it again. We were like, we can just go to the Master Chief Collection, or just like any other game that's not this.
Yep. But hey, you have to see, everyone's chatted out skins or whatever. I didn't properly appreciate this bamboo mouse until we did that video recently with some other like crappy commodity mice, and I've discovered just how usable it is, something that I kind of took for granted in the past. Whoa, I missed. That was some terrible shooting.
I got a response here from Mehdi on YouTube chat. The goo on my computer was touchscreen related. Maybe it is there to absorb shock. Anyway, I'm walking on my treadmill, watching on my new computer. Walked 3 kilometers so far.
All right.
Linus is thinking too much.
Yeah,
He's
sorry.
in
I was
gamer
listening
mode.
to Dan talk while I was trying to kill a guy. And yeah, sure, listening to Dan talk makes me want to kill a guy, but doesn't make me good at it. No, I'm kidding, Dan. I'm kidding, Dan. I love it.
We can get some more practice.
I love your stuff that you do when you talk. Anyway, the point is, we
So
did a video
diplomatic.
recently on. Got distracted. We did a video recently on these peripherals that we bought at the Canadian equivalent of Harbor Freight. So if you're not American, Harbor Freight is where you would go to buy a $4 wrench. All right, just to give you some idea of what we were dealing with here. So it's a store called, I love this gun. It's a store called Princess Auto, and what drew our eye to them was how much they looked like Razer peripherals. No, get on, come on. Yeah. All right, cool. No! Takes a really long time to reload. Okay, that was terrible. Anyway, the point is, they were absolutely unusable. You move the mouse any faster than this, and they would completely lose tracking, like actually stop moving on the screen. Whereas this wooden mouse from product name Bamboo Mouse, brand unknown, actually usable. I kind of don't mind it. I mean, it's not great. It's not the best mouse ever or anything, but yeah, it's usable. It's usable. Oh, I was trying to go in for a melee kill, and all 4 of them were there. It was a pretty ill-advised plan. Just like it was an ill-advised plan to try and do this build on stream. Good job, everyone. Although our CPU was at like 55 degrees in that game. Pretty sick. And we forgot to open hardware info, so the GPU was something, but probably fine.
All right, do you want to shoot out MXC Builds again?
Yeah.
Made the case?
Yeah.
Looks right sick.
Yeah.
Go follow him on Instagram or the YouTubes or the Etsy. You can get the plans for this exact case.
Yeah, and then you could make it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For $13.92 Canadian.
Yeah. That's like $10 US. Oh, we should also shout out XSplit again. We'll have a link to them in the video description. You can get 69% off. Great tools for broadcasting and screen sharing, background removal, all kinds of good stuff. Bye!